Alrighty, and we're showing live. Wonderful. So, hello everybody, and welcome to another Wednesday night stream of Starfleet Command Orion Pirates Plus mod. It is a little bit later than usual. In fact, we're starting when we normally end. But we're going to have a little bit of fun tonight, and we're going to continue our Federation versus Klingon campaign. So let's load on in there and get back into our Saladin-class destroyer. Ah yes, the USS Tokyo, as well as Gravemind's USS Powell freighter, which he insisted we buy. And here it is, still relatively intact. Let's check out the ship. No, not the shipyard yet. We need to check supplies. We need to go through any repairs. The Powell took a little bit of a hit. Hello, Sean. This time works better for you. Ah, that's pretty cool. This time actually, we'll see about moving forward, seeing what times we're doing. Although I kind of do like the 5 to 7. Although I suppose maybe in the future we might extend that to even longer now that we're on doing something a little bit different. Hello, Giorno. Welcome to the stream. We're just about to get started here and just about to launch ourselves into the neutral zone. So without further ado, let's set off into that area of space where the Klingons should be attempting to intercept us. And we have a convoy raid. This is an interesting mission to take on. 2 cheap ships. Sounds well, they're not cheap. The Tokyo's cool, and the Powell, well, is just interesting. Although, if I'm completely honest, I kind of would have preferred the Powell was more freighter-looking than it currently is. Because, well, the armored freighters just aren't as cool as the Federation big freighters. The original Federation big freighters, the ones that are in the original base game. I'm not a super huge fan of big tankers. Hi, Crit Killer. Welcome to the stream. You took my advice and got Starfleet Command Orion Pirates. Yep, it's a very fun game. I think you'll have a lot of fun with it, especially with the Orion Pirates Plus mod, which is available in the link down below from the Hot and Spicy forums. They have been working on keeping this mod updated and up to date, including things like the this little panel down here in the non-updated version that they worked on. Didn't end off in this nice little groove here. Didn't have the gorgeous background textures or planets or one of 1,000 other things that just make this game awesome. We are taking Disruptor File. I need to get on top of that one. So let's reinforce the forward shield and get ourselves ready to rock. Does the Klingon AI try to saber dance? They're a little bit too dumb for that, unfortunately. They don't saber dance like they're supposed to. Yes, it is kind of a pain, but when we do our Klingon campaign against the Federation, we'll be able to show it off a lot. You're enjoying it? I'm very happy to see that somebody else is enjoying the game, Crit Killer. Always wonderful to see more people discover this old game and realize what a gem it really is. Alright, so we have all of our weapons select. Most of our photon torpedoes ready. Not all of them, but most. I'm going to quickly try and come in here and see if I can't get a tractor beam rolling on him, because he's currently got a single point of attack shift. If he drops that to 0, I should be able to blitz. It did drop to 0. Fire everything. Alright, our forward shield is down. His forward shield is down. And we grabbed onto him, because I made a bit of a mistake. I could drag you into the mine, but I'm not going to bother. I'm going to go up here. Hi. Ooh, don't want to drop it on top of the Powell. I was about to try and nuke him with a whole bunch of mines, but I don't feel like blowing up my own people. Almost got the phasers ready to rock. We're kind of lucky on this one that he doesn't. Oh, wow. That's pretty significant phaser armament. Gotta give him credit for that. He really came to fight. And I don't want to show my stern. So I'm going to do this, see if I can't pull myself all the way through on this one, because he's about to crunch through my Are you kidding me? We broke down? Wow, we are going to have to sit here for a little bit. Gives me a chance to catch up on chat. By the way, I got the vanilla game working on your Linux laptop, and the standard game speed is set to 9 instead of 7. Does the mod... I think I changed the scale. I enjoy speed 7 more. I think it's a little bit more reasonable to work with. So that might be a me thing that I changed. Although, I seem to remember the game started at that pace. So maybe not. Come on, engines, come back to life on me. I need the power. Seriously, a very unfortunate breakdown. I need to check to see what our actual normal breakdown rate is, so that we can actually fight that in the future. Okay, let's get some fire down his throat, deal a little bit of damage. We need to fix those phasers as well. We'll ignore the photon torpedo since it being down, honestly, is not the end of the world. Drop a mine on this, see if we can't build a little bit of space. Oh, he's just mauling us. We are unfortunately suffering from quite a few problems. Although the phaser array is about to come back online, he's about to get nuked a little bit. So I don't really have any good open shields on him, unfortunately. We're just exposed. So working on getting the engines back online, getting them to somewhere where we can be aggressive. Get another pip going on that one. We need to patch up these phasers again. Phasers are our primary weapon. They absolutely do the most amount. The FTD has an 86 chance. Wow. I should have checked that ahead of time. Still, an 86 fail on that. It's like we're playing Rogue Tech all over again. So let's get some speed going on. We do have a photon torpedo in the tube and ready to rock. So we could nail him pretty hard with that if we get a good angle on him. The trick, of course, is going to be getting that angle, because we have a lot of things being worked on. Are we at the right speed? No. Yeah, we are. Okay. Photon torpedo, proximity, spit that sucker out. Come on, fire. Why? Oh, because we're actually close. Oh, well. Bit of a wasted photon torpedo there, but it did bring the health down a little bit. Panda must be the element of the ship. Clearly. Alright, we've opened him up in the back a little bit. Only did 3 damage, though, unfortunate. Did take out his shuttle bay. Not, well, he has a phaser currently offline. That's going to hurt him. Oh, we're still not through his armor, unfortunately, although he was actually able to bring his shields online for that one. Come on, not the photon torpedo yet. Oh, yeah, the photon torpedo does need to get done. Phasers are currently not available for engagement, but I'm going to dump a mine right in front of you. Force you to have to cut in tight. And maybe I don't want to be here. I would high energy turn, but unfortunately I think that I would lose that one. That hurt a little bit more than it probably should have. Let's keep our fixes going on. We're almost back up to full power. We only need to get up to his power of 19 in order to be considered back up to full. Working on the photon torpedoes now, so all 6 phasers are ready to rock. I'm just going to see if we can't curl it a little bit tighter, bring him within a range of 5 before we open fire. But it does look like he's starting to break off. Luckily, we are maintaining a higher speed than he is, so we can get in there. Nope, he's turning back in for the Powell. Wonderful. And that's the range I'm looking for. Good hits on there, 15 damage on through. We have 2 phasers which have not yet engaged, although it's going to be a little bit difficult to actually bring the angle around on them. He's getting a little bit tighter than me than I want, so we're going to dump a mine, force him to have to go outside on that turn, which will put us in a nice position to be getting on his stern. He is, yep, he opened fire with all of his phaser 3s, and managed to really reduce our forward starboard shield. But if we turn this enough, we might get the other phaser online. Portside phasers are ready to rock, they just need an angle. And he's down to a speed of 2.2. We need to go a little bit faster than that. Looks like we're going to get most of our phasers on this one. Crunching through, 16 damage. Come on, get that angle just a little bit tighter. I want those portside phaser groups firing. There we go. Alright, putting through. He's down to a single phaser left. We're going to accelerate and try and get on out of here before the Powell annihilates him. Because once the Powell kills him, he'll explode and it'll cause damage. And right now, we are a little bit light on shields. So we're about to have half our photon torpedoes back online. I will invest in fixing the other half of the photon torpedoes. Phasers still recycling. Powell, where be you? Right there. Do you not have a shot? Do you have an angle on him? Do a quick check of the fleet screen. What are you currently worried about? Give him a shot. He doesn't need much. Oh, not quite. Phasers. Portside phasers not yet available. Now they are. There we go. Okay, tore them apart. We're in good shape now. Well, not really. We have to catch up to the convoy and annihilate them. I am going to tell him to free himself up from formation. He can go engage whoever he wants. And we're going to hit the boosters as much as we can. Let's set our engines to full power. I'm going to rob the shield budget as much as I possibly can, because we need to get up front and ahead of this convoy. Also, hopefully, with as many photon torpedoes as we can manage. We got one of them online. We're working on getting the second one online. Although that's going to start tapping our power reserves pretty severely, because each photon torpedo is 4 points of power. That's 2 points of speed for us at the moment. So it's going to be a little bit rough to get everything working, but once we're at the head of the convoy, things should operate a little bit more smoothly. So that's the hope and the goal. Tractor beam is a little bit damaged, so is the electronic countermeasure system, the transporters, and the shuttle bay. Oh, that breakdown was just devastating, but hey, we're coming back on through. We've taken care of the escort, and now we're dealing with the actual people in line. So as soon as we can actually get up to full speed, we should be able to do quite a bit. Unfortunately, he's able to skirmish at long range, plank away at our forward shields, which are not being reinforced and not particularly high at the moment. So we almost have 2 photon torpedoes ready to go. I kind of want to shut off the port side photon torpedoes just to give me the power to sprint on top of these guys, but I also want the firepower. I want that firepower badly. Hey, those are quite fast missiles. And you're about to, yep, take up one of my phaser capacitors, which means we don't have the power that we need. So, also, the fact that you fired a medium-speed missile under C-Rax, too. Interesting. Alright, so it looks like the Powell has already annihilated the last guy in trail, as we're going to continue to the first guy in trail and his buddy way off over there. But we don't have a phaser capacitor going just yet. How close are we to the edge of the map? Time to check. And we're getting kind of close. That's unfortunate on several levels. We need to hopefully avoid these missiles, but I think our point defense system will engage them. You did. Very, very unfortunate. We're going to have to get in this and do as fast of a run as we possibly can. They are C-Rax, which means he gets to fire them quite often, which is not a good thing at all. Yep, there goes another salvo. And we're going to come right on top of him, really. All weapons, normal photon torpedoes, please. Pull on through. Unfortunately, the phasers just are not ready for this fight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass in front of him. I'm going to dump a mine on him. That will cause him to go into a very wide turn, which will give us some time. So once that mine goes active, he should turn away unless he thinks he can tank it, which he did. They do not normally do that. Oh, there's just too many on the field at the moment. The Powell is doing his best, but the Powell can only kill a couple at a time. There he goes on his turn now. Unfortunately, we've already turned back in on him, so the odds are we're not going to get to the other one. Hello, Rimmer. Welcome to the stream. We're trying to take out a pirate convoy, and unfortunately not doing as well as I'd like. We had a breakdown early on in the fight, and things were not great because of it. So we've got to avoid these mines a little bit. Took a little bit of damage on that one, but he took more, so worse off for him. How many more mines I got? That's the real question here. None. Okay, so we're out of mines at this point, which is unfortunate, because I would love to be able to just bomb him again. And the free trader's just gonna pass right on through that. Yeah, I think that freighter's gone. We're probably not gonna be able to catch up to it. Would like more power into the engine. We actually did lose an entire point of power and a phaser out of that one. So that just goes to show how light our armor currently is at. That breakdown early on in the fight, absolutely devastating to us. But we're trying to come back from it. And hopefully we'll be able to kill enough of them to make that a reality. Are you not coming over here or what? Get back into formation if you're not actually going to do anything. Alright, so coming up on the SLV-2, we've got most of our phasers ready to go, and he's out of ammunition. Phasers through. Unfortunately, we managed to waste most of that fire on most of his shields. That is unfortunate indeed. Slow down pretty significantly, and I think we're going to rely on tractor beams at this point. Get over here and start to engage a tractor beam on him. That way we'll hold him back, make sure that we'll have accurate fire. I really don't like the fact that this weakened shield is towards him, but I don't have a whole heck of a lot of options. We're a little bit limited when it comes to that. Alrighty, let's start rotating this guy and pushing him away. See if we can't get all of our weapons on target with him. Breakdown, I don't think it's my responsibility to go through here now. Yeah, we had a very terrible breakdown. The first high energy turn we tried of the match, and the ship just stopped. It was quite painful, actually. Because then the escort, which a pretty significant light cruiser, was able to come in and just rip into us quite heavily. I'd love to be able to commit another high energy turn, but it's only up to 50% at this point. A couple of more missiles coming from them. I don't think this is going to be our finest hour. Unfortunately, this mission has proven to be quite painful. Point defense tractors have been engaged, and that's a scatter pack, and that's a hit on through. We're going to have to increase our speed up to 24 so we can start avoiding that incoming damage, because it's going to hurt a lot. Let's get the warp core stabilized a little bit more. He's down to a speed of 6. That does work in my favor. There we go. Starting to outrun him a little bit. Guys, don't waste the phaser fire on the people in the rear. We're just going to maintain a high enough speed in order to avoid it. Although I wish I could run this missile into him. And he just fixed a system right as we nailed him with our phasers, which probably kept him alive a little bit. Let's shut off this tractor beam, because I think I can outrun it. I can. Lovely. And unfortunately, we don't have any more mines, so we can't really deal too much with these guys. Shields barely managing to hold on this one. We've taken out one freighter. I'd like to take out at least 3 by the end of this, but that may not be something that's going to happen. We are unfortunately very much in a rough place at the moment. More speed, more power. And okay, how close are you getting? We're starting to outrun you. Lovely. Unfortunately, all I have left are 4 phasers, and these armored freighters are rough to try and break through. Let's not release the missile right in front of me. Slow down a little bit more. Unfortunately, I don't think I have enough transporters to deal with it. Oh, I do have 2 transporters, which could work with some things, but that might be an attempt too far. Let go of that. And all weapons. Punched. Did a pretty decent amount of damage, but it hasn't killed him. And I doubt our weapon systems are going to cycle in time. We're out of mines at this point. We can't really do much at this angle. So we're just going to try and turn in here, stay on the board. But I think he's going to get away. So we might be able to get 2 of them, if we're lucky. Okay, so they shut off there. Let's hit the brakes down this one. Pull it in as tight as we can, and if we can get him before he crosses the line, that'll be 2 freighters that might be worth something. If not, it's not a huge deal. We're sitting on a pretty decent amount of cash at the moment. Oh, good job. You've tractor beamed him. Burning wreck, but he's not dead. That's the problem here. I need to get the starboard side phasers on target, and I also would like to be able to grab him. Let's try that real quick. See if my tractor beam can't turn on in time. He still has a tractor beam, which is unfortunate, and we're outside of tractor range at this point. More power. Let's see if we can't drag him away. Just got to get on target with him and hopefully nail him before he goes to warp. Well, his rear shield's dropped. Alright, we've got him. We're pulling him away. Phasers to hit on through. He's down to a speed of 4. And we've knocked out his tractor beam. So as long as we pull him away from going off the map, we've got him. Unless he can fix it. But I don't think he'll be able to. So we'll pick up 2 of them. There's Klingons on the starboard. Yeah, the freighter that was pulling away. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to grab him. That breakdown really wrecked all chances of having really good chances of pulling everything off in this mission. I can't believe that it popped off on the first one. That absolutely stunned me. Photon torpedo, unfortunately missing. Very ungood. And there we go. Okay, we got a mission complete, but the ship's been pretty badly dented. We didn't take out the entire convoy, which was the goal. Not according to... Oh, yeah. I remember that song. God, that's an old song. It's got to be at least 10 years old at this point. 150 prestige and the tile taken, so they liked what we managed to pull off this time. Lovely. Let's pop back into the shipyard and take a look at a couple of things. I don't really know what we're currently saving for at the moment. I prefer to skip the CL line just because they look really ugly. But the Command Cruiser Plus line is out there. It'll be just under 2,000. Could go for an FFG... No, a DDL? That's got plasma torpedoes, doesn't it? Yeah, it swaps out the 4 photon torpedoes for 2 plasmas and 2 photons. Oh, for the exact same energy budget. That's crazy. I don't know how they expect that destroyer leader to be able to pull anything off with that kind of numbers. Although, if the DDG is out... Let's do a quick check, see if the DDG is around. If so, I would definitely look for it. Oh, it's technically classified... It is out, okay. So the guided weapon destroyer basically takes the current one and instead takes out 2 photon torpedoes and throws in a missile rack. That's 8 points of power for free. Does the DD Plus give us anything that we would care about, though? The DD Plus is a phaser upgrade and a couple more points of power to run those phasers. Yeah, that would be interesting. Although, like I said, I'm a fan of the DDG. I think the DDG is a fantastic destroyer. Yeah, we could go with a quick little upgrade. Unfortunately, the Powell will be slotted in ahead of it, which means we'll have to be constantly jumping away from our freighter. Well, we'll pick it up anyway. We'll buy a DDG, and we shall trade in this, trade in the Powell as well. Sorry, Gravemind, your ship has been traded in, mainly because it's not as cool. And if there happens to be a Q ship, we'll grab that just to sate his desire for secret vessels. I don't think there is. Alright, let's get ourselves supplied. That's one of the major things that I actually miss from Starfleet Command 1, is that you could refit ships for just the difference in price between the two, instead of having to completely rebuy an entire vessel. The DD Plus is better, because it does increase your power reserves by 4 points, while at the same time only increasing your phaser concerns by like 1 point. So all in all, that's a pretty nice upgrade. So let's check it out. I also think that we have now moved into the motion picture timeline in terms of what our vessels are going to look like. Yep, we absolutely did. And we are sort of surrounded. So we've got a frigate up here and a heavy cruiser over here. So let's turn on that frigate, the DBR, it's a double raider, and see if we can nail him before he can do anything towards us. And as you can see, by moving into a DD+, we have undergone the motion picture refit, which, if I'm completely honest, this is probably the worst looking Saladin. Like, the base Saladin is fine. I think it's okay. It's actually kind of cool looking, even with the huge derpy dish underneath hanging from below. But the motion picture Saladin just kind of seems out of shape. I'm not sure what's really wrong with it, but it doesn't quite jive for me. So let's kick our speed up to maximum, using all of our additional power now. You should learn, though. You should definitely play this game. It's a fantastic game. It allows you to run through a whole ton of fun things. Let's get the forward shields reinforced so we're actually prepared for incoming damage. We have... Oh, wow. It's even worse than we thought. The high energy turn chance is a 66%. Wow. That is sad on several levels. Alrighty. Are Saladins in Rogue Tech? What? Saladins in Rogue Tech? What are we talking about here? I agree, Laurendale. Akulas are my favorite as well. You have 2 Fs. That's a problem. Can I get around behind you to make sure that your Plasma F torpedoes don't actually get to engage me? I can't really guarantee anything, so... Oh, I didn't actually set anything up, so phasers. Just fire all of them. So, starting to exchange phaser fire. Oh, there are Saladin tanks. Ah, yes. Yeah, the Saladins are in the base game of Battletech, even. So, if you're looking for Saladins like that, then they're definitely there. But yeah, the Akula is my favorite of the destroyer line. I think it looks just absolutely awesome. You are really beating me up. Let's get more power and pull out of here. Download all, just finding time to play. Yeah. Well, you really only need like 5 or 10 minutes to run through a match or two. Unless you get into something really dangerous. So now the other one is on site. I think it's time to set tail and run. So as cool as it would be to knock everybody out, I think I'd rather keep the ship alive. Well, we are not fully equipped to deal with you. Full speed. We're just going to zip on through. You can blink away at my aft shields all you want. You're not going to penetrate them. Okay, you actually did penetrate them, but that's because you're a heavy cruiser. Wouldn't it be cool if you could drop your lance with... Yes, absolutely. If you could mix lances... In tabletop, I almost always run augmented lances, even before they technically become a thing. It's one of my favorite things to do. You run some sort of vehicle support, or infantry support is really common for me too. I'm really kind of hoping that the next expansion for Battletech brings in support for additional support lances. Because the augmented lance is kind of the staple of the game, at least in my opinion. Although, base Battletech, they don't want you fighting the clans. They refuse to include them. Now, let's get ourselves out of here.
Go to war.
So there is that to think about. Yeah, I'd really like to be able to add in tanks. I'd really like to be able to add in infantry or aircraft. Why does the community seem to prefer Starfleet Command 2 over Starfleet Command 3? Because Starfleet Command 2 is better. Starfleet Command 3 simplifies a lot of things. You go down to 4 shields instead of 6. The power system is more on a cooldown than it is in the way that it's currently done. Yeah, and Sean's got a point. It's an unmaintainable buggy mess. Yeah, it's pretty buggy. It's not in the greatest shape that it's ever been, unfortunately. Well, although they do, and I'm almost 99% positive they do, they make, or at least some people had made, let's go with the anomaly mission, because I don't think we could pull off a planetary assault. There have been mods to bring in, like, Galaxy classes and the TNG era ships into Starfleet Command 2. I don't have any of them. I'd like to look into finding a couple of them just to see what they'd be like, although they'd have to be of sufficient quality because, frankly, most of the ships in this game, especially for the Federation, they look really good. But if you know anybody who wants to model and put it into Starfleet Command, I'd definitely see what could be done with someone trying to make a TNG mod for this. Starfleet Command was good for like an hour. It did allow you to fight some really interesting things, but it definitely was not my cup of tea. Honestly, I haven't played it, but I've watched people play it, and I don't really have any interest in it. Does anyone remember? I can't remember if it was Starfleet Command 2 or 3. Eric Bethke of Taldrin promised it would be out by such and such a date. It was late. He said, if it's not by us, I'll eat dirt. I have no idea about that. And he did eat literal dirt from the parking lot and posted a video. Really? Back in, like, what, 2003, 2004? That's kind of crazy. We do have a heavy cruiser. You look like a Katinga, sir. Is this the case? No, it's a D6. Okay. I was a little bit worried. By a little, I mean a lot worried. Let's get photon torpedoes to proximity. We'll get ourselves to a forward shield reinforcement of something to work with. We do have the anomaly, of course, coming in, and we have no anti-missile defense system nor missile launchers of our own. The DDG would have been a little bit of a better choice for anomaly missions, but I was a little bit concerned I wouldn't be able to actually take on a planet. I do have 4 photon torpedoes, though, so I'm as heavily equipped in heavy weapons as a heavy cruiser. Downloaded some TNG mod, did quite well. Also nice try. Yeah, like I said, I do remember, I've seen people, and there are a couple of videos on YouTube of people playing the TNG mod. Fire the photon. Oh, we shut off. Oh, we're on this mission. I hate this mission, but we're going to pull it off. Hey, speed of time back. Let's go there. Photon torpedoes, get them back up to full charge. Proximities. I meant to only fire the photon torpedoes. Oh, no, he fired back at me. That's fine. Let's turn and start to get some distance on this guy. Incoming disruptor fire, just battering our shields quite heavily. I think it may have been a mistake to continue with the Saladin class. Just doesn't quite seem to be able to hold up to what we're being told to fight. Because, unfortunately, a D6 is a little bit bigger than us. We're a destroyer, he's a heavy cruiser. I really do not want to get anywhere near that. So I'm actually going to send probe, and I'm going to send a point of power into our electronic countermeasure. We're going to start messing with him. So he has a grand total of 7 phaser 2s. Now the phaser 2 is not as good as the phaser 1, but still, that's quite a bit. And he's also packing a pair, no, it is a quartet of disruptors and a pair of missile launchers, whereas we only have 4 photon torpedoes. We do have 6 phaser 1s, which I suppose technically outgun 7 phaser 2s, but he's on a bigger, more stable platform. A lot of CAs coming our way, to be sure. Yeah, absolutely. I don't know why, but all the heavy cruisers seem to have it out for us. His attack shift is down to 0, so we're going to be able to get an accurate shot in here. We're going to just hold at range with him. Actually, I think it's a range of 30 that I want to get to. That'll bring our accuracy up pretty considerably. Photon torpedo proximity. Yeah, 30 is 50%. Fire. And pull away. 1 hit. Might have been 2, but I only heard the 1. So let's get the engines fired and we'll get ourselves a little bit further away. We are going to do basically the Klingon saber dance against them, at least as much as we can. Oh no! Our engines just shut off. Whoops. Well, here we are. You're probably wondering how we got into this situation. Start turning the bloody ship. Hopefully we'll be able to defend ourselves. Our phaser capacitor is full. That does definitely work in our favor. But until the engines come back online, we are in a bad place. So the speed of time, just because they're incoming. And our phaser 3 is able to take care of that. Lovely. Engines are back online. Full powered engines. Get me out of here. We're not leaving the battle, but I am boosting the engines up to as much as we can handle. And we need to get some distance from this guy. This battle is going to be very interesting. At close range, he can probably beat us to death because he's got the missiles and the disruptors, which fire more often than our photon torpedoes. But at long range, I think we got a bit of an advantage, even though he matches us in disruptors. But I think our photon torpedoes can do a better job. I love that your engines failed. Your saucer section suddenly had damage. Well, where do you think the power core is? So getting some distance off from him. Utilizing our electronic countermeasures to hopefully help out. It's not really doing a noticeably great job, unfortunately. And we're going to keep running away. Wait for the system to come back. Stop hitting my aft shields. Hey, there's the anomaly. I wonder if I pass through the anomaly if I get anything cool. Well, we are within range for a 50% strike, so let's get these photon torpedoes off the chain just as soon as we can. 2 hits. I heard him. And now we're stuck charging again. Up to a speed of 20, and he is just being murderously accurate with those disruptors. Blinking by every single time. We're going to get a little bit closer to this anomaly, see what happens. I mean, if our engine shut down at the wrong moment, we're going to die. And we've burned out his missiles, so that definitely works out in our favor. As our photon torpedoes slowly get back into charge. Get our speed going up. We are outrunning him slowly. And his engines are offline. So our engines are short to be offline, so we managed to curl it around. So our bow is towards him. Photon torpedoes unloading. Our systems are back. Lucky. So we got very lucky on that one. I think I want to get in close and batter him down. That might be the play. Come on, photon torpedoes. Get ready to shoot. Let's go normal mode. We're going to get in close. We're going to get in tight. And we're going to... This is going to be ugly. But it might work out. We're approaching each other quite slowly. His disruptors... How many of those hit? I don't think many of them. His forward shield is still in relatively good shape. He's coming around to bring his collar phasers into the fight, it looks like. Photon torpedoes. Oh, we got a nice good hit. 45 damage on through. He is going to get a pretty nasty hit on our forward shields, I think. Yeah, and that's what I was expecting. But we had the tractor beams to be able to handle it. Let's get our speed going. Let's pull away. Even though, well, we should be fine for a little bit, assuming his disruptors don't get on target soon. We gotta pull away. Hopefully we'll have enough turns in order to get the phaser 3s back online to shoot these things down. Because holding on to them is quite dangerous to our health. Let go of them. Okay, good. Now we just gotta hope the engine doesn't shut off. And phaser 3s took care of most of them. Excellent. So our starboard side shield's not doing so great. Someone's streaming my childhood. Welcome to the stream, Marxus. Happy to have you here. So we are going to hopefully be able to take him down. We already got a nice big hole in through him. Did 45 damage. Our port side shield's still intact. Most importantly, our forward shield still very much intact. We do need to slow down a little bit, get some power to the photon torpedo so we can actually deal some real damage. Does the ship not have an AMD? It does not. If we wanted that, we would have to go, I think with the destroyer leader had one. But that has 2 plasma torpedoes. And so you've swapped out 2 photon torpedoes for 2 plasma torpedoes, which is not a very great idea, if you ask me. So we've got a pretty decent angle here. And our engines are offline. And I do not dare... I don't dare use my, my phaser capacitor, because I think he'll come in with some missile strikes here. Alright, so now that he's done that, now I'll dare to use that. So we've got a decent amount of damage on through. Made another set of shields red. Even the FDN doesn't have any... Yep. It's very early design, and we don't have that advanced technology yet. So we're going to have to slowly curl back around. Hopefully we can get the starboard side phasers on target. He's about to be able to shoot us with his collar, I think. Maybe. He hasn't fired yet. But I do want to have my starboard side phasers on target just in case, because we're going to hold it for the incoming next 2 missiles, which we're anticipating very shortly. So, we took out all of his missiles, both of them. Phaser 3's doing their job for once. And a little bit more damage on through. Let's get some power going. Come on. Come on, Anomaly. Stop affecting everybody. It's boring this way. I've got 2 phasers ready to go, and they can't shoot. Because the Anomaly is being frustrating. So as soon as it shuts off, we'll be able to accelerate. There we go. Power. Power to the ship. Sweet, delicious power. I think, yep, his missile launcher has been run dry. He's fired it 4 or so times. So he has no more shots out of that, although he might also be out of phaser capacitor. We got another 15 damage on through, dented one of his phasers. We are going to start turning away, but we're going to try and keep this aft shield away from him. I don't want to get the hit on through. And we're slowly going to spiral out away from him. Although it looks like I got another phaser, so we'll tuck that on in 2. So he's having not a great day. IKV Annihilation is his name. Photon torpedoes are slowly charging up. Phaser capacitor at half capacity so far, and I've got half my phasers ready to go, so I just need to bring this thing around. I would high energy turn in order to get the good angle, but unfortunately, the Federation DD line is a 66%, which is ridiculous. More phasers on through that hole. Lovely. Knocked out his shuttle bay, so he can't throw any more scatter packs our way. Photon torpedoes another half turn, and they'll be set to rock and roll. Starboard side phasers just need a target. We've got the power for it. Lightly plinking on through, disabling a couple more of his phasers. Get those photon torpedoes on. And, oh no! Our engines are offline again. Right as the photon torpedoes came to bear. Let's get our phasers, see if we can plow anything we can into that. I want to deal as much damage as I can to the Annihilation before he can try to do anything. So unfortunately our photon torpedoes are now unloading, because they need the power, and they've been starved of power by the Anomaly. I am not quite sure what happened there, but I don't think our phaser blast did that. But we're going to take it as a win. Hopefully we'll take this planet. Because it's a little bit close on that one. I didn't check the Empire Defense on this one, but we managed to pull out a successful mission, even though it took us 10 full minutes on that one. Jeez. Wow, 756 prestige. That's kind of ridiculous. Did not take the planet. Has an Empire Defense of 34, so it'll take quite a bit of effort to capture the neutral zone planets. We're at 16 if we sold for 330. The Galactic Survey Cruisers have recently received an update. Should we go start the next mission with 0 power? It shouldn't. We should be able to repair it. So I believe that was fixed. If not, we'll just sit there and maybe leave. Got a couple of fast cruisers, but I'm not too interested in them. I do want a CC Plus just because they're awesome. And no DDG. Unfortunate. So we're fully patched on that. I'm not going to bother getting any more spare parts. And we're going to set out into the neutral zone once again to start causing a little bit of havoc for the Klingons. Yeah, we're going to set out into Klingon space, see if we can't be a little bit more aggressive than we were before. Empire Defense is only 10, so as long as we don't take the base assault, we should be fine. I don't think he self-destructed, although it may have been the Anomaly coming online just triggered something. So we are red alert and increase speed. We're actually able to move and charge our photon torpedoes. The marvels of brand new Federation science and technology. Get ourselves up to maximum speed. It tampers one of the photon torpedoes on charging, but not a ton. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, Jorno. I think it was Anomaly damage that ended up blowing him up. So we have a single Merak frigate off in the distance. According to the transporter room, there is nothing of interest on board, so we're just going to dive at whoever ends up showing up. Hopefully we might even be able to get our photon torpedoes to overload, and that would be a lot of fun. Then we can deal ridiculous amounts of damage for a light ship. Oh crap, it's another heavy cruiser. I think we need to get out of this ship, and relatively soon, because it keeps saying that we deserve to fight heavy cruisers, and I gotta say, I don't agree. Overload the photon torpedoes, slow down until we can actually fire the photon torpedoes. Holy crap. Overloading these photon torpedoes is rough. How much power is being called for? That should be fine. Okay, we're actually good on power there. So we'll get ourselves back up to full speed. So four photon torpedoes overloading maxes our speed out at about 8. Gotta love the phaser tanks in the TMP or in that name. Wait, what? A downgrade to a frigate? I don't want to do that. I'd like to go up to a heavy cruiser myself. And we're at, what, 16 was it? So we only need a couple hundred more in order to get a Federation command cruiser, and that would be a nice aggressive choice. The CC Plus, I believe, was one of our vessels that we were in for quite some time in our Season 10. You do see the ship, right? Which other ship? The frigate over here? It's offline. It's an Enigma mission. It won't do anything. Looks a bit bigger than a D6. According to the fleet screen, it is a D7K, so yeah, it's a little bit bigger than a D6. We get to fight the pride of the Klingon fleet. Let's get ourselves up to speed. We'll get ourselves to some forward shield reinforcement. I'm also going to tell it to preemptively set up the electronic countermeasure. We're not going to be able to use it, but I want it there. We're going to engage the tractor beam. He's currently showing an attack shift of 1. I don't want to have to deal with that, so I am going to tractor and photon torpedo. It's going to be a nice close range battle. I'm thinking about going right for his bow. That might be the best choice of action here. And we can see it. I'd love to hit that bow just to knock it completely off, but maybe it's not the greatest strategy to actually risk that. Tractor beam is on. We are on the forward port side. 3 of the 4 overloaded photon torpedoes hit, set our systems back down to normal, and we can cut this tractor beam now, please. Thank you. So 48 damage, chunked through his shields, and we'll slot in right behind him. Luckily, he is still a fairly old version, so he's only got the A-rack, doesn't have a particularly large volume of fire, and he used a scatter pack on the disabled frigate. Not a great plan, all things considered. And his missile salvo, so we've got a little while to wait before that one. So, the fun thing about the Enigma mission is the AI in this spawn position will focus everything it has at trying to kill that ship. And now that it's dead, it will start to focus everything it has at trying to kill us. So we've knocked through 2 of its shields, which is quite nice. Neither of them is the forward shield, though. Unfortunate. And he's bringing his collar phasers on target and getting right on through. Oh, I forgot just how devastating those collars can be. They were one of our main weapons, actually, during the Klingon campaign so very long ago. Season 2. We haven't actually repeated them yet, although we will shortly. And photon torpedoes, getting some decent shots on through. Not actually penetrating the shields, but the phaser is able to do a decent follow-up. And as long as I can stay in his stern... Okay, emergency tractor beam. Online just in time. Another photon torpedo, managing to hit some targets and pull through. Because he's just wasted the last of his fire on our bow, so we can pull on through, get a little bit more defensive shielding in place. Really mauling his stern, which is exactly what we want to do. Please let me go. I don't want to have to repel tractor you. Thank you. So phasers coming back online. Unfortunately, it's the starboard side phasers. So starboard side phasers taking care of our little missile problem. We will shut off our emergency tractor beams. And I was afraid you were going to do that again. So point defense tractor set up once again. We can shut them off again because our phasers didn't care. We currently have our phasers set to actually defend ourselves. Drop a mine, we need more power because being in front of a D7 is a bad idea for a destroyer. I'm taking a lot of hits on that one. Let's get the engines repaired because I want my 2 points of power back. Oh, come on, give me an angle to shoot this. Yes, it's into an attack shift of 1, but yes, I'm going to take it anyway. Unless you get that bow on, which you're about to. So we made that turn around and we weren't able to fully come through on it. I'm going to dump another mine preemptively. Try and get him to turn away from us a little bit because I do want to get at that glass rear shield. Alright, a decent hit on through. Not too terrible at all. Knocking a whole bunch of his systems offline. Let's get that phaser 3 back if we don't mind. He's gone for the high energy turn. Not great because I can't follow that. We have a 66% chance on a high energy turn. Would be all kinds of folly to attempt to take that. Unfortunately, I think my tractor beam... Oh, good. I thought my tractor beam might have been offline. It was not, luckily. So we're building a nice little minefield, but we're about to run out of mines. So that's a bit unfortunate. I've got a photon torpedo ready. Are you just... Wow, he just burned it down. That's not great, because 1, it hurt us, and 2, it meant that he actually tried to continue the engagement. I need that phaser to shoot, please. There we go. We need to pull away. We need to get some distance. Oh, actually, no. Getting distance is terrible. If we try and get distance, he'll just come around on us. Let's get more speed going on here. Yeah, we've just lost 4 points of power. We're basically a regular destroyer now, which is a bit unfortunate. And he's about to bring those disruptors online, isn't he? Yep, there goes the one disruptor. Can I get another mine here? There we go. We'll pull out of the mine in time. That should push him away. Alright, all up in fire. Oh, come on. You've got to have an angle there. No, apparently most of my side weapons are offline. Able to get a couple of hits on through, denting him slightly. But I do need to get past that if I want to actually get anything accomplished. Keep the engine repair coming. We are down to our last 4 parts. We're going to get some distance. Maybe hit and run on the rear phasers. The trouble is he's got quite a few of them. This... I don't know if this can shoot to the rear or not. Yeah. We're going to try and get in on his back once again. We do have a photon torpedo that we've been holding for quite some time. I'd like to get all my phasers ready to rock again before I go in, because I can hurt him quite badly with phasers. I just need to get there. So, a mine. I'm out of mines. Not great. Okay, I needed that mine to push him away. Hits on through. Unfortunately, he responded in kind. I can't get the bow on. I just don't have a way to do that at the moment. And his disruptors will be pretty rough. We're going to have to keep it high speed here. And I think I want to kick it into evasive maneuver, but I'd rather not. As long as he can keep plinking through the shield without caring, we have problems. We're not going to bother fixing that photon torpedo. See, normally your advantage here would be that you would have a significant maneuverability advantage as well as a high energy turn advantage. However, because we're fighting the Klingons, we don't have that at all. The Klingons are incredibly maneuverable ships, and even this heavy cruiser is almost nearly outrunning me and out-turning me. And I don't have a high energy turn chance because the Federation destroyer line is pretty terrible when it comes to that. Get some aft phasers on target, a little bit more damage on there. We've knocked out most of his systems, actually. He's only got 2 disruptors, so we've pretty badly mauled him. I just need to get this bow back on without actually shooting his front shield. See, just as I say that, he nails us with some disruptor fire. Both of the photon torpedoes are offline, so now I don't care about a good angle or not. Oh, I wanted to put that photon torpedo into him so badly. But we've just got to avoid this forward shield. There's too much power in it for us to actually try to overcome. It would take too long, so we're just going to keep trying to get around into that side. A little bit more damage as much as we can, whenever we can. He's going to be able to shoot back with it, isn't he? Hopefully I can get the stern shield in place. We did. Lovely. And a little bit more damage into the back. Sorry, we're not at 5. Yep, we had some problems. I mentioned it in the Discord that things were going to be a little bit hectic, and I wasn't sure we were going to get there. Erratic maneuver, unfortunately, one, it makes you less accurate, and 2, it takes power. And power is not really something we got a whole ton of. So as you can see, if we come over into our power management, we do not have enough power for me to want to be wasting in erratic maneuvers for now. So I'm perfectly happy to be where I'm at, even though it would give us a slight maneuverability advantage. Okay, more hits on through. I'm really, really kind of hoping that that phaser 2 goes down, and it's just kind of not. Although we might get him on this last pass. Aft phasers, not quite. Although I would like to point out that he is a D7K. This ship is designed to fight the Federation heavy cruisers, and we're a destroyer. Let's try not to hit our own mine, because that might get us killed. So I'm actually quite proud of how well the ship is done, as battered as it is. Although if we get a decent enough of prestige, we're probably going to want to sell it as soon as we can for another for an actual heavy cruiser. Because if it thinks that it wants to keep throwing us against heavy cruiser fights, we're going to have to ask it to stop. Alright, so this last phaser pass, I believe, will be able to tear his ship in half. Can we cap it? Sure, let's try. Let's give it a shot. Well, we're 1-1 at this point. Let's see if I can't pull away before we get into the arc of that phaser 2. So, yep, we can cap it. We'll set it to half damage and increase the speed of time just because we're coming around and he's basically got nothing left. So, all weapons prepare to fire. Marines. Send in the Marines. And that'll be a Klingon D7 cruiser captured. As soon as you get to the heavy cruiser came, they will start throwing B-10s and B-11s at us. Yeah, ain't that the truth. I'm not sure how much prestige it's going to give us. This thing is mostly a wreck. We may have a better chance playing at 4 ECM than running at speed 10. We've got him. He's done. But yeah, the ship is not particularly nimble or maneuverable. but I like having some speed to get a little bit of a turn going in. Okay, so is our Marine going to be able to take on his Marine? That's the real question. I'm going to throw over a second one just to make sure. So, go Marine. Okay, we've got him. Now we have the advantage. We will take him. Whatever is left of this ship really has been pretty badly dented. So we're just going to wait for... Really? Our Marines are steadily losing? No, we finally got him. Okay. So, last Marine team, only person left on board the ship. Gonna go in there, finish securing the entire location, and that'll be a D7K captured by a Federation DD+. Not bad at all. Even though it's probably not going to reward us tremendously well for it. Now, there was nothing on the frigate to actually steal, so that's perfectly fine the way things are. Seriously, there's no way you can stop me. Will you please just give me your ship now? Those Klingon warriors, yeah, they don't even have a security team left, and they're still pushing it this long. So as soon as we wait for our Marines to finish securing the rest of the ship, we can move on. You know what? Open that shield up one more time. Have another Marine. Okay, they got it. So we captured the D7 cruiser with our destroyer. Not bad at all. We've gone up 2 levels in what we actually managed to steal. Let's see what it actually decides to give us for prestige on this one. Because I'm quite proud. 456, that might be enough. That puts us in the 2080 range, and we're going home. Argus is pretty nastily beat up. Hi, shipyard. I'm looking for a heavy cruiser in the 2000 range. There's a Galactic Survey cruiser, which is worthless. Oh, there were like 3 command cruisers that had been available just recently, and they're all gone. Oh, that's unfortunate on several levels. Could get a CAR plus, but I really want a command cruiser plus. Unless the CAR plus has replaced it. 3024 in the back, and we're looking at the 821 setup. And the command cruiser is 3024 in the back and is an 821 setup. Wait, so what's the difference here? 149, 140. The crew is slightly different. And other than that, seems to be the same. Yeah, let's grab a Sierra Plus. We'll take a standard frontline heavy cruiser. Although, I really would like the CC Plus. CC Pluses are awesome. Just because they are the Federation ship. Yeah, 2 more crew on it, but I'm not sure what that's going to actually grant me. And it's not here, but I'd like to move up to heavy cruisers like now. Yeah. How much is it going to cost? Yeah, 90 to fix this ship. That'll put us still in range. Yeah, we'll repair it. We'll fix the ship up. We'll get a couple more things. We'll run another mission, come back, see if the command cruisers are back at this point. Because I'd really like to go command cruiser. It's a very nice ship to take. So let's peek in on the planet. Of course, it throws us into a planetary assault. I don't know if that's the only difference. I think there's something under the hood that has to tell me that a CC Plus is different. Please tell me you're an undefended planet. Nope. No. We're gonna run home. No. Standard planet? Give it a shot. D7L plus PLPH? Not worth it. We're just gonna get on out of here. Oh, darn it. I had really been hoping it was an undefended planet. And then we could have taken it. Because what you can do with an undefended planet is it doesn't have shields, so you can nail it with your photon torpedoes, and they'll get through regardless. But when you're dealing with a PLPH, that's a phaser-armed defensive planet. It's going to have 8 disruptors, 8 heavy phaser 4s, which you can't get on most starships. It'll then have 16 phaser 3s, and blue shields all around. It's just not breakable with a destroyer.
Warping out of system.
Now, if we were Romulans, we could probably take it. I'd actually feel reasonably confident taking on that planet as Romulan. The main reason because we could get in nice and close using our cloak. As soon as they fire everything into our cloak and miss us, we would decloak, fire our plasma torpedoes, which would deal 40 to 80 damage, depending on the size of the ship we were in. Alright, we are actually below the price range of being able to actually buy a CC Plus, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 1966. What's the cheapest ship on this list? Please tell me it's something in the 100 range. It is not, and there's no mission here. Game, why do you taunt me like this? Alright, we're gonna pop over here real quick. I need a quick... Sure, we'll take a scanning mission. Scanning is boring and simple and easy, It'll be good for a decent amount of prestige, but if we get back in time, we'll get that CC+. So, no enemy ships on screen, although I did see a little target pop up, so that just tells me there's one way off of that distance. This planet can't defend itself, so all we gotta do is get in close and scan it and move on. There should be a Klingon vessel that will show up to try and kill us on our way to scan this planet, but if we do things right, we might be able to take it. In fact, I'm actually gonna slow down. I'm gonna go weapons to overload, because I'm anticipating having to fight Klingons at close range. We got oh no, it's Orion pirates. Interesting. Okay, so we're still the same plan, basically. Yeah, unfortunately, it is another heavy cruiser. We have got to move into a command cruiser soon, just for the additional shielding. Oh, geez, that's a lot of plasma. That's not something I want to get anywhere near, which is unfortunate because I've just finished charging the plasma torpedoes. Get ourselves up to an electronic countermeasure working on there, go up to some forward shield reinforcement. So we need to burn out his weapons fire, or his plasma torpedo fire, which means I need maximum speed out of this ship, which I'm not going to be able to get. Could just go for the planet and scan it. That's all I need for a success on this. Light fire from long range. He is skirmishing with us a little bit. I'm going to go for the planet. I'm going to see if I can't go for the scan, and then we'll turn to engage. That way we can break off at any time we want. So get me within range. So let's not hit the planet. Deep scan is on. So we're going to hold our distance here. Deep scan is unfortunately slowing us down a little bit. Beginning scan finally. Let's stay within. There we go. Got to stay within 10 to keep the scan. We have completed the scans. All the data is everything we needed. Excellent. All right, let's turn in and let's engage. So, things to keep in mind for this battle. He has plasma torpedoes. We do not. We also didn't prepare a defensive shuttle. And that's really the main thing we got to keep in mind. His plasma torpedoes will be very, very ugly if he actually gets good hits on us. So let's slow down the speed of time to something a little bit more manageable, and we'll decrease our speed so I can get that defense shift going on. Just a bit. This is Starfleet Command 2, not Starfleet Command 1. So a little bit higher up in the chain on things. Come on, when are you going to dump those plasma torpedoes on me? Give me a reason. Well, he's turning completely away from me, so we're going to see if we can't exploit that just a little bit. The mod is Orion Pirates Plus, which adds in a whole ton new ship classes, and a whole bunch of new models. Like, as you can see, we are in a Saladin-class destroyer, which is not available in the base game. Well, the ship is, but not the model for the ship. Okay, we have our defensive Wild Weasel, so I feel a little bit more confident about diving on top of him. We're going to start preparing a second one. It's basically free. And I'm going to go in for the close angle shot, because I do want to nail him with my heavy photon torpedoes if he'll come back here. Don't make me have to waste these photon torpedoes. They've been overcharged for a reason, and they are here just for you. Oh, are you seriously going to do this to me? Oh, I'm just going to increase the speed time until you decide to... Oh, that'll work. I'll take that. Alright, and let's go for the overload shot. Ooh, pretty decent amount of overloads in there. Pull off on that. Phasers to normal mode. That'll give us a lot of power back, because we're no longer... Well, not, because we've got to recharge everything. But we did 30 damage on through. Not terrible at all. Let's reduce our speed just a little bit. I want to go to about a speed of 18 so that I can cut these off, so I'm no longer wasting 2 points of power on holding something I don't need to actually worry about. Phasers are slowly coming back online. By the time we get back within range, we should be able to nail that hole again. And I'm going to give it a shot. For such an old game. Yeah, for such an old game, the mod guys really did do a great job.
Decoy shuttle ready.
Alright, decoy shuttle is ready. We can use them aggressively if we need to. I've got an angle. And a decent amount, 14 damage on through that open shield hole. He's not charging his starboard side plasma torpedo, can't really blame him. And if I can just hold this position here, we should be able to do relatively okay. Slowing down a little bit more, just trying to keep the right angle on him. We're going to mostly rely on our phasers, so I'm actually going to shut off this photon torpedo setup. We've got incoming missiles, which unfortunately will actually force us away if we let them.
Tractor beams.
So we're going to set the tractor beams to active. That'll actually allow us to pull ourselves into a little bit more defensive position. Need a little bit more speed. Got to try and keep on this aft angle. Unfortunately, our shields are now down, and we can shut off that reinforcement there. I'd love to do a quick inside turn on this one, but I just can't. So let's see if I can't... Well, he did slow down. He's down to 5.5. All right. If he high energy turns, we'll be in a bad spot, especially because we got an open shield towards him. But we may have him basically where we want him. Let's slow down a little bit. I want to pull this in a little bit tighter. Yeah, he's pulling in to try and get his other side plasma torpedo on. We do not want to let that happen. Let's see if we can't pull inside enough. We did not.
All stop.
Alright, I'll stop. I'm willing to give up the initiative on that one. This will give us a little bit of time. And then I'll tell it to immediately pick the speed up as soon as we can. I don't believe it's on good old games, unfortunately. It still hasn't been moved over. So we got one photon torpedo ready, but we're not going to be able to get that beautiful rear shot that I want so badly. And I think we're about to take a hit from quite a few phasers. So I think that was a shot right there. Nope, there was a shot. Okay, lovely. So I'm going to actually pass on through. We're not going to fire the photon torpedoes, unfortunately. As much as I'd love to get them on target. I'm going to pass through and use just the aft-firing phasers and hopefully nail them with that. Come on, get me to that right angle. That's the angle. Alright, 34 damage on through with that one. Knocked out both of his missile launchers. Knocked out his defensive plasma D. And all of our rear phasers fired. I thought I shut you off, but apparently I hit the red alert button. So we're back online. So let's bring it around as soon as we can. Because he's down to 0 speed. We got him. So an Orion pirate heavy cruiser walked into a bar, and the destroyer left alive. Keep the phasers for some light plinking. And actually, Marines, hi. Oh, he's got 11. Yeah, no way. Oh, 4 photon torpedo hits on that one. Not bad at all. And the phasers for the follow-up. Anti-piracy operations successful. I have no idea what the delay is. Seems kind of odd, especially considering it's frankly the best of the 3 games. Well, Orion Pirates is the best of the 4 games, I suppose you could put out, because technically it was a standalone expansion. 200 prestige puts us back up to 2090, which is exactly where we needed to be. Hi, Shipyard. I was looking for a CC+. You have a CC+. Lovely. Just a super quick check. Make sure there's nothing at 2000 else that we need. There's a whole ton of CC+s now available. All right, let's grab it. We got USS Montgomery. Coming over to supplies, trade in the Argus, and now we are finally in the heavy cruiser game. Lovely. Missiles up to Type 2 or Type 4s and mediums. Maximum loads on that. Had to buy it multiple times as I swap computers. Whoops. I'm waiting for someone to copy Starfleet battles from board game to PC turn-based. Turn-based would be an interesting attempt to do. I really like what Starfleet Command did in terms of keeping it real time. I think that really does enhance the experience to a certain degree. At least I find it. So I think we'll be good on that one. Lock that down. We're good on missiles. We're good on shuttles. So let's set out into the neutral zone. Do a little plinking around. Shipyard assault, because it's a little bit easier sometimes than a planetary assault. Especially if we have friends on this one. We should be able to do something fun. We do have a friend. Unfortunately, he's only a frigate. So we have a single Federation frigate, the Antares, facing against a D7 and a D6. The game has such a great sense of humor, doesn't it? Alright, let's see how much speed we can actually manage now that we've got a heavy cruiser's engines on board. We're looking at, what, 13, 14? Not terrible at all. Let's set up our phaser and missile and photon torpedo groups. So phasers on 1, photon torpedoes as usual to be on 2, and missiles will set to 3. Lovely for 1, 2, 3. So our missiles, we're going to immediately start prepping a scatter pack. We're going to need the additional firepower for sure. And also, it's basically free. Come over here to electronic countermeasure. I'm going to shove in 2 points because I'm expecting them to try and stop me a little bit. And we'll throw up 2 for maximum forward shield reinforcement. Get ourselves a nice little defense going on here. On speed 2-3 is the best ship combat around. I disagree, sir. So this is Starfleet Battles online website, but I don't know how alive it is. Uses Vassal. Oh. You do a lot of stuff with Vassal. There have been people who've made like Warhammer 40k on Vassal. I kind of want to nail that D7 before he destroys the Antares, but I may not have much of a choice on that. On the bright side, I don't really have to care about setting up a Wild Weasel shuttle on this one, because he does not have plasma torpedoes. He's been quite accurate, which is truly irritating. So let's get ourselves... How much power am I currently shoving in that forward shield? 12 points. Yeah, we're going to sap that a little bit. And also I'm going to come over into electronic countermeasure. I'm going to shove myself up to 4 on this one. That way, if he ever loses it, we'll be an attack shift or a defense shift of 2, which is awesome. Forward shield able to take on his disruptor fire without any disruption on that. We'll dive in on top of him and nail him with a whole ton of firepower. Probably should have prepped... Okay, we got our first scatter pack ready. We're going to prep a second scatter pack because it is a fantastic piece of equipment. And let's open fire with a missile. Get that on going towards him so he's got to deal with it. And he is coming bow on towards me, so we're looking at an overrun here. Mine? Oh, that's a scatter pack. Shoot that scatter pack down. Please tell me. Yeah, it did not do the job. Pull away, pull away. And just barely, we only took a single missile. Alrighty, so we're okay. We're relatively okay, and he took 60 damage. Not bad at all. AMD, doing a little bit of flickering. Not too much, though. What is you looking for? Looks like a Klingon FF2. Wait, really? There's a couple of FRDs. Those are the fleet repair docks. We're not too interested in them. And Terry's apparently doing work on the Carnivorous. Not bad at all. How are you doing in terms of shuttle bay? You still have one? That's unfortunate. Let's get another missile out towards you. So, just so that you have to worry about it. And if you bring your bow on, oh, he's got no more missile launchers. Punch through. Oh, and we got him. We got him. He hasn't realized it, but we've got him. Let's pull away just so he doesn't have point defense in range. He couldn't break through our shields. Distance of 5. Thank you. You're dead.
Aft port shield collapsed.
Ooh, F port shield is down. Very unfortunate. Let's get our bow back on. We're going to focus on the D6 at this point.
Losing lock-on.
So we've lost a couple of lock-on missiles. Don't really care because he's basically dead at this point. Let's slow down, get a little bit more forward shield power in here. I'm anticipating a missile at some point soon. Nope. But I'm going to get some shots in on your aft, opening you up just a little bit. Alright, so we took some nasty hits. These D6s are way more deadly than the D7s. Anyone else noticing that? Dump another one of these. Yeah, you're not going to survive what's coming. Well, you'll survive this, most likely, but you're about to have a very, very bad day. So, scatter pack, I think we've got him. Hopefully, it'll bounce off the forward shield.
We almost have them.
Didn't quite. Phasers? Got him. Okay, so we tore him apart. Now we just got to get this guy off our stern because he's in a really nasty position. Repair crews, let's get a little bit of repairing to the ship's engines. I'd like the AMD fixed, but I'm more worried about the phasers. No, he's still got missile launchers. For how much longer, I don't know, but let's get a missile away. In fact, I'm going to set this up because I got used to this. Missile on 4 as well. Phasers, punch through, and our forward port shields are currently available for that. We were at a defense shift of 2. Not bad at all. Photon torpedoes are ready to go. Alrighty, let's get me an accurate target. Photon torpedo select. And we do have a 100% chance of a high energy turn. Lovely. I'd love to nail those photon torpedoes in on an open target. That's a good enough target for me. So tore them open, all 4. Gunnery crews on point. They're happy they're in a heavy cruiser, and they're working hard to prove it. Pull around to get the forward starboard shield up, because we've also got a starboard rear shield if we need it. A little bit more light fire punching on through. The Carnivorous not having a good day. Forward phasers nailed him a little bit even more. We've knocked out most of his phasers at this point. There's a bit of pain in this match. There's a bit of pain in every match, but it's fun. So let's bring around. I want these port side phasers to start getting involved. Ooh, I see why he did that. He's about as a phaser 3 available. Yeah, I figured he'd get through the forward shield if he did that. Although, if you start passing through from that angle, I'm going to shoot you with my mines. Well, defend with a mine. I don't care if you're holding me. I really don't. I have better weapon arcs than you do. Alright, we got most of the systems offline. Let's see what else we've got. Well, it's the forward phasers that'll be the next thing selected, so we're going to have to give it some time. We'll pull some distance, get our photon torpedoes ready to roll, and once we've got that all set up, we'll annihilate them. Because I do think the photon torpedoes might be able to do it. So wait until we get the angle back on. Federation command cruiser is just a godlike vessel. Well, for the early era. Although technically we're in the mid-era at this point. So yeah, the CC Plus with the additional phaser mount, just lovely. Don't have a photon torpedo lock just yet. We're almost there. We have the angle. Get me within a range of 5. Although we are shooting at one of his up shields. I'd prefer to be shooting at the downed one. And we are going to get the angle if the... Nope, he's going to pull in tight. Alright, 3 hits. Phaser follow-up. Yeah, there ain't much left of this ship. I'm surprised Antares lived. To be completely honest, I thought the Antares was going to be destroyed by this little fight. We have pulled within range of the Klingon fleet repair docks. So they are going to start opening fire on us. With that in mind, I'm going to fix up the Phaser 3 just because we want some defense on that front. Well, aside from our AMD. So wait for the phasers to come back online and we'll finish him off. I could try and beam people over to actually capture the ship. Unfortunately, the Antares would probably destroy it before that happened. Klingon warriors, very good at what they do. So, final phaser barrage. Alrighty, so we've taken out the defenders, a D6 and a D7, with just our single command cruiser as well as a Federation frigate. And now time to take on Stardox. Now, one of the problems is I can't increase the speed of time on this one because these missiles and the AMD that will shoot at these missiles is somehow related to the speed of time. We tested this in earlier versions, but if I go to maximum speed of time, my anti-missile defense system becomes less effective. It's kind of irritating because you got to slowly trundle your way over to these Stardox, but it is what it is. So the Antares pulling in formation on us. Slight damage to the AMD. Would that matter much? It shouldn't. Should be just fine. Although, how many rounds do we have left in this AMD? It's currently recycling. We've got another 6 and 6. Oh wait, no, will this be our last load on the AMD? I think it might be. So we're about to be out of range, or out of ammunition for that defensive system, which is a tad unfortunate. Let's come over to this. No, this. Oh good, it's already set. Lovely. Forward shield reinforcement is set as well. Photon torpedoes are charged. Kind of tempted to go overload. How close do we want to get? Well, yes, we want to get extra close. Photon torpedoes, we're going to warm them up to overload at this point. That way we're going to get right on top of it and we're just going to beat him to death with close-in photon torpedo fire. Our phasers should be more than capable of handling all the incoming missiles, along with the AMD. So if they just want to shoot at us, that's absolutely fine. We'll just castle up and use our photon torpedoes to beat them down. So using the main phasers on that one. Lots of missiles incoming. It's more than a little concerning. 6 missiles every single... Well, I think it's even tighter than turn because we are heading directly for them. Does tax our defensive systems pretty significantly. So we've got the defensive tractor engaged at this point. Hopefully that'll be able to handle what the incoming fire is. And do I have enough phasers? I do not. We've run out of phasers at this point. Slight attack shift? Yep. Yeah, the Stardock can pretty much outdo anything we're going to do. We'll figure out more of how we're actually going to engage this thing once we get close, in close with them. But we've got time as we slowly trundle our way over. Lots of missile fire incoming. Oh, you missiles are the worst. Oh, unfortunately, we may... Good, the phaser one's coming online just in time. I wonder how many missiles they've got. I didn't think to count them. They are B-Racks, which gives them extended magazines. But hopefully we're burning through most of them by this point. Alright, let's start to slow down. We don't need as much speed as we have. So what is the range that the overloaded photon torpedo is going to be most effective at? A range of 2, to be completely honest. We gotta be within a range of 4 at the very least. How many reloads do Stardox have? Well, they're B missile racks, which I believe is normally 6. So actually I can check that while we deal with these incoming missiles. So we need the... Fold out that one for the missiles. A missile rack B is 6 reloads, which I believe is like 12 or something in this game. Missiles are the worst. Yes, just because I use them doesn't mean I don't think they're terrible to have to fight against. Let's wait for this to come in, because this may actually be the last missile. Oh, no, it's not. This Stardock definitely appears to be... This one right here appears to be out of ammunition. Alright, let's just increase the speed of time, see if any more pop up out of nowhere. Alright, we're good. Lovely. Alright, set target as the fleet repair dock, and start pulling in on them. Let's go to a 2 on this, on the electronic countermeasure. Give me within a range. That should be good enough. All up and select. Yep, tore him completely open. Forward shields are handling it for the most part, I think. Are they? They appear to have run out. Yes, indeed. Who beamed what? That wasn't us, was it? Now the shield down. And he has lost his defenses. In terms of his shuttle bay. If I were the Marak, I'd have an easy time just nailing them at this point. Should probably set the photon torpedoes to normal, shouldn't I? And we don't need any more defenses. Antares apparently just chilling out, doing nothing. Getting a taste of my own medicine. I suppose so. Unfortunate though it must be. Alrighty, so over to the second Stardock. And then the third will be after that. Antares, would you like to join us at some point? Do you need a tow? We've done that before. Bit more speed going on. How is the power systems in general? We can tap them. We can sap them quite nicely. As long as we're not overloading the photon torpedoes, we actually have a pretty significant power reserve when we're just setting up for a siege. So all we need is within a range of 5 if we're not overloading the photon torpedoes, because they're more accurate that way. I'm a little bit closer than I intended to be. That's okay. Open them up. Photon torpedoes causing a little bit of damage to us. Not tremendous, but we're working on it. Forward shield has 8.5 points of power. Should be fine, as long as we don't use the photon torpedoes and hurt ourselves. Hey, there goes another shield. And it's just going to be bit by bit. We will knock out every single shield that they turn to face us. Give some good phaser hits. Maybe reinforce the forward shield. We are reinforcing the forward shield pretty significantly. We just need to slowly but surely whittle them down. So, yeah, just because I like using missiles doesn't mean I like having missiles used against me.
Moderate damage.
Alright, so we've almost got him. Hey, Antares is finally... Wait, no. Okay, he has finally shown up and decided to fight Stardock all on his own. I suppose I shouldn't complain. He's at least getting involved. We better put all power, reinforce the forward shield, and throw power into the ECM to get a defensive to 2. In this case, all power to forward shield. Because we're so close that the defense shift does not matter a huge amount towards phasers. So, honestly, it would have been better. It is better right now to keep our forward shields pretty highly reinforced. I'm throwing in 2 points of power to go and give us a defense shift of 2. So that's decent enough. Or 4 points of power for that, which is decent enough. Let's kick on the speed. Dive on over here. I don't think the Antares is actually getting through. Also looks like the Antares is taking some pretty nasty hits. Well, this is the Federation ship that you would start in if you started without using any special alterations like I do. And it's not a terrible ship. I mean, we've used it quite well in several seasons, but... Or in one season, I suppose. But it is not tremendously great. Alright, let's pull into a stop right here, see if hopefully we can stop before the splashback damage range. I think we're going to that. Yeah, we managed to miss one of the photon torpedoes, not the end of the world. And the Antares is just orbiting at point-blank range. It's like, I can take you, I can take you! And as long as the Antares is doing that, it looks like the AI is not thinking about how to actually successfully defend itself, so we can just abuse it. So yeah, nice orbit there. Yep, indeed. Alright, we probably are going to be able to kill him in the next salvo. That'll be more damage on one of the neutral zone planets, which it won't flip, but we can put more pressure onto it if we really desire it. More importantly, though, this will recover a decent amount of our prestige, which we desperately need to reset. Yeah, the models in this mod are really nice. And there's a lot more, too, that are out there in the community that you can get your hands on. Alrighty, so Empire Defense is down to 35. Let's pop back over here. We need a little bit of a repair work. Also, we're sieging a planet, so... So, let's go to supply and repair that. We didn't have all of our shuttles, and we do need to repair all of our... Oh, we used 2 of our shuttles, though. And give me more mines, because they're awesome. Marines, because they're useful. And spare parts, because, well, stuff's gonna break, and we need to fix it. We'll set our ship up to maximum. And I'll ignore the mission. Dive right back onto the planet. I would like to take this as a jumping off point into the south. I'll take a planetary assault this time. Maybe we'll be escorted again. Hopefully we'll be escorted by something big and terrifying. And hopefully the planet will be undefended. While being escorted by a Lord Commander class cruiser, HMS Magnificent, rigged for close range combat. Unfortunately, the planet is a PLPH, which means we're going to be here a while. Unfortunately for us all, the Federation does not do well in sieges. They're not super well equipped for it. So we're going to be here for a while, because we're going to have to whittle down the shields on this place. Hopefully the planet will decide that it's more important to try to defend against the Lord Commander class, and we'll be able to move around to a position where it won't reinforce its shield. But this is going to get ugly and painful. Alright, so photon torpedoes are not charging. Well, they are charged, but they're not finished charging yet. We have a whole ton of excess power. Let's throw that into the forward shield. That way we just have a nice little bank of defense for once he starts opening fire on us. We'll also throw in for 4 points of electronic countermeasure, just for a little bit of additional defense. Make it so he can't hit us quite as accurately or for as much damage. And we'll dive in and hopefully nail him. Nail him to a wall. We're doing our combat speed of 15, which is probably as low as I want to go. Although it is a Klingon ship. So it's not like we're fighting the Romulans. So we have a D5 that we're dealing with. A D5E. So that's the escort version, isn't it? Oh, it's a drone version with a lot of missile racks. Doesn't the scatter pack use the Type 1 missiles even if you have Type 4? I don't think so. I'm fairly certain it uses the same missile type that you do. I mean, we could test it out at some point. Alright, we're at 7.5 power. We have full power on the photon torpedoes. The first of the scatter packs is ready. And we'll prep a second one. We're just going to build as many as we can. They're incredibly useful. Select all weapons, minus the missile launcher, because I don't think I'm going to need it. And if I can create 3 scatter packs, I'd rather do that. So D5E traveling at a speed of 20. Waiting for his initial missile barrage. Oh, the Lord Commander has fighters. That's useful. Especially for taking on missiles. Wow, this D5 is actually pretty serious and how much to do. Alright, we knocked out his forward shield, or his side shield. He knocked out our forward shield. Unfortunately, we weren't able to deal as much damage to those fighters or those anti-missile defense systems as I had been hoping. So, yeah, we're not going to get that through at all. Let's repair the 1 point of damage that we got and damage to the labs as we'll slowly circle around on him. Eventually, we'll get a fairly decent angle on him and nail him. Down to speed of 15.3, though, so that's a pretty significant drop. As the fighters return home to the Lord Commander, they'll be able to rearm and repair, come back at full strength. And unfortunately, well, unfortunately for him, he didn't go for full kills. Ooh. Can't get my bow on towards him. There we go. Now we can get the bow back towards him. How much power? 4.5 points of power into the forward shield. Lovely. And the scatter pack is ready. So we've got 2 scatter packs ready to go. I can prep 3 scatter packs. Lovely. And that leaves me with a single missile left in the bay. Somebody said Hydrogen Captain out of fusion cannons. Yeah, they don't know how to do it at all. That's not going to change. Unless you... Wow, there's a fighter group gone for no reason at all. Unless the AI, or unless the fusion cannons are changed in the same way that the Phaser 3s are changed in this mod, to only operate within a range of 3, I don't see them ever using it properly. Alright, so the Hydron has decided to grab him at point-blank range, which is honestly a really good idea, because that means... Well, aside from the fact that the fighters were destroyed completely, it would have meant that the missiles couldn't be fired from that range. Because you can't shoot missiles at somebody who's within a range of, like, I want to say it's 0.75. So, a brilliant strategy by him. Unfortunately, he didn't conclude it. Slow down a little bit. We have the power. And phasers almost cycled on. It's the photon torpedoes that I wanted to get into the fight, and they did. And we've got him pretty much handled. Last photon torpedo, just nailing him on that one. And we'll pull on through. I think we've got this guy completely wiped out. Now, the big downside at the moment is the fact that our forward shield is pretty badly brutalized. So that's not going to be particularly helpful. 2 more phaser bolts. Yeah, the D5 model is absolutely gorgeous in this. Alrighty, so the Defender has been dealt with. Unfortunately, we're now dealing with the planet. And the planet is gonna be one heck of a tough nut to crack. So first things first, we have to set a course so that we are not in line with this Lord Commander here. So let's kick up the speed to full, just so we can get a good position on. And we're gonna kick up the electronic countermeasure to maximum, the forward shield reinforcement to maximum, and we're gonna have to just set up a bombardment. And it's going to be a little bit rough. Well, long running. Because as long as we're bombarding, it just takes a while to get done. So we're going to hang around on the edge for now, because we're trying to get a very, very different angle than this Lord Commander. Because if we do that, then the planet will have to split its reinforcement, and the AI does not like splitting its reinforcement. So we will actually get some level of defense on this one. Alright, so we have 3 points of power. I'm going to sap that a little bit more. 1.5 is good enough for now. We'll slow down to steadily increase it. And hopefully we'll be able to penetrate all his defenses. A little bit more on that angle. I want to get within a range of 30 at the very least. I'd like to get even closer than that if at all possible. Defender ship to... Oh, I thought that was a new message. Apparently not. So the photon torpedo on... Oh, if I got to a range of 12. So all of this is useless to us. So photon torpedoes set on proximity. Oh, all good hits. Not bad. Taking a defense shift of 1. I'm going to throw this thing up to 6 points of power. If you want to stop me from having my defense shift, you're going to have to invest the exact same amount of power into your offensive countermeasure system, which he's not doing, which is kind of surprising to me. Keep the photon torpedoes are raining. As long as we keep reasonably anchored fire, eventually we will break through, so long as he's reinforcing against the Lord Commander. As long as he's doing that, we're blasting through a shield that is never getting reinforced. If not, things get ugly and fast. And I think we're going to try that. It's not going to get through, but I just want to see his response to it. Oh, we are through. So yeah, we were shooting at a basically undefended location. So all phasers fire. Let's slowly start to get in here. We have a hole in the shield, so now we've got to exploit it. Now the thing to keep in mind, though, is he has a considerable amount of firepower in the form of his phaser 4s that we just can't really touch. Photon torpedoes, continue your engagement. Just keep blitzing him down. This will take a while. And the one thing we've got to be careful of is we can't allow that forward shield to turn back on. Or just any of these shields turn on, because he will reinforce it and then we'll never get through it. So we've got to exploit the hole that we've got right now. Even though we're not doing a whole lot of damage, every hit through an open shield keeps that shield from turning back on. Alright, we're probably getting as close as we can possibly manage to get. The main danger here is if he turns his attention to us, he can probably pretty badly spike us with those phaser 4s, and we only have 8.5 points of power on the forward shield at the moment. So, as much as I'd like to not have to bother, I really do have to continue to fire these phasers so that we are able to keep that shield down. But he is mostly focused on the Lord Commander at this point, as we continue to siege this planet. And we are dealing a little bit of damage at a time. The trouble with planets is they have a lot of armor. They are very well defended. So as you can see, despite our continuous bombardment, we've only dented a single phaser 3. And we can't afford to get much closer to actually use our our photon torpedoes in overload mode to really rip him open. Have you lost another shield? Huh, I think the AI is through on another side. So we've knocked out 2 of his shields so far. So he does have a pretty significant weakness at the moment. And he's being blasted from both sides. That ought to help considerably. Attack probe. Attack probe only works within a range of 5, and we're not going to get that close. That would be moderately suicidal, and we'd prefer not to be. We want to survive and live and thrive. That's the goal, anyway. So that is the major trouble with trying to siege as the Federation. Up until really the battle cruisers, and even battle cruisers don't siege well. The New Jersey classes siege okay because they've got 6 photon torpedoes as opposed to 4. But the Federation use pretty much 4 photon torpedoes on their heavy cruiser class, and that's it. And they go up to 6 when it comes to their 2 versions of their battle cruiser, although the Excelsior kind of doesn't count. And on their dreadnoughts. They finally go up to 8 on their heavy dreadnoughts, and by heavy I mean their battleships. And it's not until the best siege ship in the Federation Navy is the X-type heavy cruiser, or the X-type heavy bombardment cruiser, because that has heavy photon torpedoes, 6 forward-firing ones, which is the equivalent of 12 photon torpedoes. And even that's kind of anemic when you start comparing it to, say, the Romulans, which are packing 2 R-type plasma torpedoes, each one of those does 50 damage, 2 S-type plasma torpedoes, each one of those does 30 damage, and 2 F-type plasma torpedoes, just for ridiculous amounts of damage. So the Federation, definitely one of the weaker ones in Siege. Not as weak as the Klingons, though. The Klingons really have it rough, because the Klingons don't even get the Alpha Strike capability of the Photon Torpedo. The Disruptor is a pretty measly and kind of pathetic weapon if you're trying to hunt a planet with it. It looks like we're actually doing some pretty decent damage. Cut through the armor, knocking down the defensive systems. If we can knock out the tractor beams, then we can start making use of our scatter packs in a little bit more of an aggressive way. We've got 18 missiles on board. We want to use them. I really, really am tempted to try and get close to him, just to see what will happen if we get right on top of him. I mean, I assume he'd shoot me and annihilate me in one salvo. We've seen what that could be like. Was it the Marak campaign where we had a dreadnought and we parked it right next to a station, and it got utterly gutted in like 2 rounds of shooting? Phaser 4s do not mess around. They are a terrifying weapon system, and not something you want to duel with often. So how is our little buddy doing? Lord Commander is still plinking away, still has this hole in the shield, it looks like. Oh, looks like he broke open the hole in the shield again. Well, we've got him down to half health, which is helpful. And knocked out 3 of his Phaser 4s so far. Looks to be almost nearly half of his Disruptor complement, although he hasn't really been using them all that effectively. And most of his point defense phasers are still online. He's trying to fix what appears to be his electronic countermeasure system. Is he actually challenging me on that? Yeah, he's throwing 4 points of power into the ECM system. We could probably use that as, like, sort of a judge of how much free power he has. Yeah, and it's steadily going down. We're knocking pieces off this planet bit by bit. Let's get a check of the Marine count. He's down to 9 Marines. Once he gets down to 0, or down to 2, then we can send our Marines over to actually capture the planet. And that's the goal, anyway. Alright, looks like the tractor beams are off. We're going to try this. Just keep the fire going, see if we can't get enough of these missiles actually through to deal some damage. And... oh, all hit. Not bad. Let's launch our last one. And hopefully that'll be enough to actually finish off the planet. So our final bombardment of weapon systems. Probe, tell us what we're dealing with. Mostly dead, but still slightly alive. What would be the damage of a Phaser 4 versus a Plasma R, do you think? So the Phaser 4 is packing at point blank range, can do a maximum of 20 damage. That's between a range of 0 and 3. And that thing can fire every single turn. So that'll come out to plasma torpedoes take 3 turns to charge, so that'll be 60 damage per 3-turn cycle. So if you want to go into like a DPS idea, the Phaser 4 is much, much better. It would seem that the side-mounted heavy weapons are ineffective regardless of what race you are. What do you mean the side-mounted weapons? You mean these plasma torpedoes? Romulan plasma torpedoes are going to be insanely effective. Let's get right on top of this planet. And we will beam our people over. That's one of the other great things about this mod is improved planets. The base ones, not so great looking. These ones, much better looking. We haven't even destroyed all of the systems. He's just stopped shooting at us. Alright, so our Marines are busy working to secure the planet. And it's going to be another 4 or so attacks on this planet, or at least on this tile, before we actually manage to take the planet. Because it has a pretty significant Empire defense. Speed time's already at maximum as we slowly orbit the planet, providing long-range phaser bombardment. Able to take out entire city blocks with just one burst. That's cannon. And photon torpedoes? Oh, we got it. Alrighty, so we managed to take the planet. So the plasma torpedoes, the disruptors, the photon torpedoes. Yeah, I think there's a little bit roughness going on with how they currently are set up with the new planetary models. But even without them, the Phaser 4s are just devastating. Empire defense is at 30. We do need to go home and resupply a little bit. Although we should also kind of plan for what our next ship will end up being. There is a Federation Dreadnought which is available. We could go back up to that. Unfortunately, they're a little bit underwhelming is a word. Unfortunately, it's the only Dreadnought we've got aside from the DNL, which, surprisingly enough, is actually better equipped than the standard Dreadnought. Yeah, light Dreadnought for you. So, I think we'll be saving up for a Carrier. Carrier might be the way to go. I'm not committed on that one, but I definitely think the Carriers are a lot of fun. They can deal a ton of damage with all their fighter squadrons. So we may end up going in that direction. So 55 plus the 7 to resupply our ship, and we're going to keep pressuring the neutral zone planet. We can take a patrol, absolutely. Relatively simple mission, straightforward, straight up combat, no sieging required. So it's nice to take a nice little break from that. And you know what? We're gonna set our photon torpedoes to overload on this one, because I believe we will have a great deal of luck if we do. Increase the speed of time, and we'll prep our first scatter pack. Don't know who we're fighting, but I'm gonna assume it's the Klingons. Could be pirates. If it's pirates, it'll be easy. No, it's a Klingon dreadnought. It's a C6 dreadnought, so it's a light dreadnought, but it is definitely a Klingon dreadnought versus our heavy cruiser. Hi, Rimmer. Yeah. Proximity mode. We're not overloading that photon torpedo anymore. Let's get our reinforcement going up high. I would like 4 points of electronic countermeasures, just like he's doing. And let's kick ourselves up to speed. Actually, we're going to go up to 6. Challenge me. Photon torpedoes. There, we got 2 hits. We'll take that. And now we'll pull away. I'm not getting any closer to you than we have to. So electronic countermeasure is helping us out quite a bit. He is going relatively quickly. Those C6 light dreadnoughts, man. Are we not charging this photon torpedo, or is this it's a graphic glitch? Okay, good. Type the DN before it was on the screen. Alright, come on, get us an angle, get us an angle, get us an angle. Pull away, drop a mine. We have the angle, we can use the mine to help defend ourselves. He's going so fast. That's the problem. The speed of the ship is what makes it dangerous. And that's actually a problem that a lot of dreadnoughts show, is that they're just so quick and they're just so huge. Only 1 hit there, not tremendous. Pull away. Keep maneuvering to avoid. As long as we keep a fairly decent defense shift, we should be okay. Really tempted to dump another mine to get him to pull away. And we're not going to get a good angle on that one. Very unfortunate. He's turning to keep his bow away. I would like to continue to bombard his bow with heavy weapons, but that's probably not going to be a thing. Let's get him to stop. I want you not moving, and this will get you to not move. Because he will emergency defend against us. So we'll pass on through. This will give us a chance to set our own angle. Really, we could use it to go right in on it. Yup, he used the Wild Weasel. So we'll take this opportunity to sprint away from him. He can't fire while he's under the effect of the Wild Weasel. He can't move while he's under the effect of the Wild Weasel. Well, actually you can. But the AI emergency stopped in order to do that, so he has no movement anymore. How's the electronic warfare playing out? Let's go for this. Drop speed slightly. I want to get that attack shift down to 0. There it is. Come on. Get an angle on the photon torpedoes before he reacts to it. One hit out of a 50% chance. Jeez. So the gunnery crews are deciding that they can slack off a little bit. We'll almost have a second scatter pack ready to go. Actually resist the urge to scream, run away from every fight. Ah, come on. It's only a C6. It's not like we're fighting a B10. I have reasonable hope for our ability to be able to cope with this. More power, and more scatter pack, and come back over to the electronic countermeasure and shut that crap off. I don't need it. I do need to slow down 1 pip of speed, though, if I do want any sort of defense going on at all. And I do, because we need it. Just plink it away accurately, and that's the painful part. It's the accurately part. I wouldn't mind if he were just plinking if it didn't hit me, but it's when he hits me that it becomes a problem. So we're going to hide behind our mine a little bit. We need to slow down, because we need to get those photon torpedoes recharging. Jeez, why are you not charging properly? Oh, most of them were. Just a couple of them weren't. So we're going to loop around our mine, use it as a little bit of a defensive shield. And we need to get our photon torpedoes back on that bow, because I don't think he's defending himself all that effectively. Could be wrong. One strategy that we may want to consider is dragging him in with a scatter pack. That might be a way to go about things, although I'd rather not do that if I'm facing him, because he's rather scary. And large, and deadly as all heck. Oh heck, we're gonna do it. We're committed to it. Hi, I'm about to eat everything you've got. Normal, set, slow, more power to forward shield. Open him up! Okay, so let's see if we can deal with it. Well, he dealt with it. Got another photon torpedo about to come online. Get the angle, get the angle, get the angle. He broke free. Photon torpedo. Got the shot. Double mine. Pull on through. Here, we're about to get light up pretty badly. Oh, it's gonna hurt a lot. I got no phasers to shoot back. Yeah, we're gonna really hurt a lot. Oh, you're doing that bullcrap. Better speed down to 4, please. Repairs high. Holy power, not bad. So we did get a nasty hit on him through already. Although being this close to him is something that's not particularly comfortable. So we're going to steadily pull away on this direction. I got phasers and they're really good. If he pulls his bow onto me, I can tear open his forward shield. Our forward shield's still intact, although that just only helps us if we intend to continue to stay tight with him. Which unfortunately we're kind of forced to at this point. Shield's coming back because we're the Federation. We have the best shield reinforcement in the game. So we can take a pounding and recover from that pounding pretty gosh darn quickly. Hi, you may have something to handle this, but I'm going to see if I can't mess with you on it. Okay, you are within range. Open it up. Alright, and are you going to try and stop that, or are you going to shoot it? Lovely. We grabbed him a little bit late, so it's not a huge deal at that point. But he did take another couple of nasty hits. We've knocked out another one of his shields. Got a photon torpedo with your name on it, and it went right in for him. Good. Excellent. Let's pull around 2, so we've got the port side weapons, well, shields facing him. We're sort of running out, and him not so much. So we're definitely relying on that fact that we've got a better shield recovery rate than he does. I never played the Fed properly since my system rates 0 alphas. Well, we're being a little bit more aggressive than I kind of want to be. I don't want to be this close to a Klingon dreadnought. But honestly, it's probably the best strategy we've got at the moment. Because if I can just hold in close to him and Star Castle up nice and solid and take advantage of open shots where they show up, we can deal a lot of damage to him. Problem is, we've got to stay in close to him. I am throwing way too much power into my electronic countermeasure right now. Let's sap that. Get down to 2. Actually, no, drop to 4. Give me a little bit more power to the shields. Photon torpedo. Come on, come on. You got one. There we go. Another opening. Phases in through that hole. Only did 3 damage. That's a little bit painful. Pull through, and shield is down, but we managed to avoid most of the more serious damage. That was the more serious damage that we were attempting to avoid. Dump into the mine. And that is pushing him away a little bit. His forward shield is quite badly damaged, so we do have that working for us. Get me that rear phaser back. I need all of them. And shoot through that hole. Unfortunately, not having any weapons to shoot through that hole is not helping us. Love heavyweights like Fest. I prefer something a little bit more nimble, but he was proving to be just a little bit too fast for us to handle. Alright, let's pull through and pull away. That's a scatter pack. I don't have anything to stop that. I'm just going to pull in front of the mine. That should be able to handle him without too much trouble. Or maybe they're going to soar right through the mine and not have trouble at all. Yeah, the minefields turned out to be pretty okay. Unfortunately, those missiles are all going to get through it. And my AMD is about to come back online to be able to engage. Photon torpedoes look to be mostly intact and ready to go, although I would like to have this engagement at a slightly lower speed. Alright, we managed to take down everything, although that did take out a couple of my more important phasers. How much forward shield reinforcement? Not a lot, but it's there. I mean, it exists. Federation spends way more money on spare parts than the Marak. Well, that's because we're fighting for a range that the Marak would never bother. The Marak would set up at maximum range before the AI even knew that it was in a fight and never actually engage the enemy. Alright, let's open them up. Okay, we got another good opening here. A couple of missiles being put away. Defensive tractor engaged. Defensive tractor disengaged. So we've knocked out what appears to be his collar phasers, although those may be at a different location on this ship. He's down to a speed of 11. We're slowly burning through these missile launchers. They are F missile launchers, though, so that works out a lot. A lot of exploding consoles to replace. Absolutely. Come on, Dreadnought man. Actually, no, don't. Just stay sort of at a distance and don't really attempt to kill me. That would be the most helpful. It is the IKV Dam Slayer. That is our current opponent. Through a little bit more damage. We are almost out of mines at this point. Defensive tractors engaged. Phasers, if you got anything. Honestly, no. The phasers are going to pick off the mines because they have to. We've taken up most of his starboard side weaponry. So he's having a pretty bad day, although he's got a pretty significant amount of other weaponry that he can throw at us as well. Fix the core, even though it's not actually broken. It'll be the labs, which will give us more reset. More engine recovery. Shield recovery, that's the word I'm looking for. Hi, you decided to grab onto me and I have photon torpedoes. I've prepared explosive runes, essentially. More phaser fire. Defensive tractors. Okay, we've got a problem. We got a serious problem. Let's pull on through. Another mine right on top of you. That may have been a mistake because we are going to take that damage a little bit. Fix the engines, fix that phaser, and are you a phaser or a photon torpedo? You are a phaser as well. All ends fire, if you've got an angle, which I'm really hoping you do. There we go. A little bit more fire going on there. You have any plans of setting up some multiplayer with the community? Eventually. Things are really hectic for me right about now, so I don't really have the time to set or manage or do anything like that. But I know the guys over at Dynaverse are running a couple of multiplayer test servers to set all that up. So if you want to go over there and talk to them, they have things mostly going as far as I understand. Alright, so he's pulling away at a speed of 8. We've done a pretty nice amount of damage to him already. His missile launchers hopefully are almost out of ammunition. And our phasers are ready to rock. Oh, unfortunately, we're preparing a photon torpedo. Oh well. If you're in the respect of the Klingon captain, at least. We're taking this ship out. There's no respect or anything like that. He's gone. We're dead. Well, he's dead. We're going to take him down. Especially with our photon torpedoes almost ready. We're going to see if we can't get up to that starboard rear side. One, the starboard weapon bays are mostly offline. And two, he has an open shield. So it's the perfect angle with which to fight. Aha! He was saving all of those missile launchers. So the F-type missile launcher has not great magazine sizes, but more to the point, has, darn it, that was most of my phaser arrays. Photon torpedoes. Oh, good. Even more crippling damage. But they fire once every other turn, so they're incredibly slow firing. So we have him down to a speed of... Oh, wow, that took off an entire bar. That was a little bit better than I thought it was going to be. Not too close, just close enough. And Marines, hi. 12? Yeah, no, not happening. I think we ran him out of ammo, though. And we've almost got another phaser pass ready to go. Let's get those over-the-shoulder phasers so they can fire directly backwards. There we go. 19 more damage on through. He's lost most of his systems. Oh, we're going to take him. We're going to cap it to humiliate the captain. I don't... Well, we could go for it. How many Marines I got left? I got 17 Marines. We could try, but he's done a lot of damage to us. How are my transporters? In good shape, actually. See, that's my concern, is he's still dealing some pretty serious damage to the ship. Even though he's been pretty badly mauled. So let's get the forward weapon systems on target. I'd like to mass all of them, if at all possible. I'll take that. Flat torpedo. Alrighty, so that was an additional 24 damage. How are you on Marines at this point? You're down to 8. Weapons officer. Let's go for capture. I think we've got him. Yeah, he's got a single phaser one left. So he's not having a very good day. So if we can just come back around and get our bow on, nail him. He's doing a speed of 1.3. He's got a single phaser one left. He's got no support systems left. That's right. The Federation command cruiser will be taking on and defeating a Klingon dreadnought. Let's see how many. 7 more. So this could take a little while. Alright, let's slow down a little bit. So we can get our phasers all set up. Up the speed of time. Since we're just going to be doing steady plinking away. Yep, that phaser's on the port side, so it's not even a factor for trying to fight us. So he's just having a bad day. There shall be no victory for him. And our shields are recovering at such an astonishing rate. Our bridge is burning and the captain jumps behind the tactical console like Picard and says, "That'll be the day it fires a single phaser one at you." At least it's not a surprise missile salvo. Alright, our Marines are away. We got a 2-to-1 advantage on him. That will capture a Klingon dreadnought. For sure. So there's not much of this dreadnought left. It's in pieces, but it is captured. We are going to have to, unfortunately, repair our ship back at Stardock because it's been pretty beat up. Also, we used a lot of mines, well, all of our missiles, a decent number of our shuttles, a fair few of our spare parts. And the 2 Marine teams moving to clear the rest of the ship. And then another Klingon captain humiliated. Yup. First we captured a heavy cruiser D7, and now we're capturing a C6 dreadnought. So, that's a pretty nice pickup right there. They're definitely trying to challenge us on this one. They keep sending ships of a class entirely higher than we are at. Maybe we should look into trying to get that fast dreadnought. Would be one of the biggest things in space. Empire Defense is 25. Pop back home. High supply. 72 damage on the ship. 3 shuttles worth of scatter packs is 16 cost. Plus, oh, no, we're going to keep those at fast. Or medium anyway. For an additional 10. And here's... Wow, we only used 8 spare parts. That actually surprises me quite a bit. And we have an additional 6 mines that we used up. And 6 Marines. A little bit of an expensive resupply. But we won, and that's what's important. And anything cool yet? Well, we got the DDGs are out. The DDG pluses, which are one of my favorites. Because they've got the phaser upgrade in the back, and they've got a missile launcher. They're really good. They are a fantastic ship design. And nothing currently in... Oh, the MMQs are out. So we got the medium Q ships. Armed with a couple of missile launchers. Alright, we are resupplied. Let's set out into the map and hop on top of this planet again. We'll take another patrol. Can I shamelessly post it too and I recently made with Star Trek symbols? Sure, I guess.
Battle station.
That's red alert and get on in here. So we'll pick up the pace as much as we can. Not much. I don't want to go too high because we are still charging up our shields. Lovely, alright, so we are at speed. And hey, maybe this time we won't run into a dreadnought. Let's prep up of the missile launchers because they proved to be quite useful. Anchoring him and then dumping a scatter pack on top of him was fairly helpful. Although he was able to shoot down most of them, it didn't mean that we were able to avoid a lot of that phaser fire that he would have shot at us. Alright, let's see. Where is the enemy? That'll be the question. I'll increase the speed of time since we're just chilling. Hey, it's another heavy cruiser. Good, so this is a D7K. This is much more our speed. We might be a little bit more powerful than he is, but this is definitely more the sort of fight that we're supposed to be fighting. Let's slow down. We're going to set to overload on this one. Because I want to get basically the point-blank range, close and punch. We're going to go up to 4 ECM. I am going to prep a single-stage tractor beam. That way we'll hold on to him. Suddenly dread. Nope, not this time. This time we get to fight a standard heavy cruiser. Something more designed for what we're supposed to fight. By the way, and I keep forgetting to do this, I'm going to come over here and create an invite to our Discord. In case you're not a member of it, this is the Discord for the channel. We try and keep it nice, light, and enjoyable. I will try to post up when I'm going online and the like. We have a new bot, which I'm trying to learn and somewhat failing. But, yeah. If you're going to join, be polite, be nice. We're all happy people around here. And back to the show. So we're going to dive on top of this D7K. We're going to nail him with the big opening heavy punch. And maybe that'll break him. If we blow up his tractor, if we blow up his shuttle bay on the initial pass through, then we can immediately dump the scatter pack on top of him. 6.5 points power. I'm going to set that a little bit more. I want a little bit more speed on this one. Alright, we are looking at a defense shift of 1 and an attack shift of 0. So he's not trying to fight us on the electronic countermeasure flight yet. I mean, he's going after our ECM, but he's not making us have to use ECCM. Alright, the goal is to destroy the shuttle bay and hopefully survive the incoming damage that we're about to take from these collar phasers. I'm kind of okay with just boring through your front shield. We're held on to you, so...
Factor beams set.
Alright, slowly turning. We did not kill his shuttle bay. Very unfortunate. And he did break through. Double mine. That'll force him to go wide on his turn, which will help us out a little bit, since we are not particularly maneuverable. Oh, wow, he just went right through it, so that'll be a nice amount of damage on his shields. We took out one of his phaser 2s, which will be quite nice. This is the first encounter with Captain Tarek. Cool, we'll join. I make MSDL cards for a living. Oh, that's cool. So we're going to steadily get back on in. We are surprisingly enough on the tail of a Klingon heavy cruiser. You don't see that every day. Let's dump a missile on top of him, see how he tries to handle it. I assume with his own sort of defensive phaser setup, but we could get lucky. He is high energy turning. We're going to try and show one of our defensive forward starboard shields. And he's not reacting in the way that I care about. Okay. That's what we were waiting for. The phaser barrage. And that's an open shield. Well, it was an open shield. So give me a shot on that bow. Federation firing pass on through. He did shoot through one of our shields, which is not great. But we will pass on through, taking less damage from him, to be sure. Shuttle bay's out. We got him.
Repairing warp engines.
Shuttle bay's out, and we got scatter packs. He's done for. So we will let that pop on top of him. That'll be 6 missiles, doing the speed of 24. He can try and shoot them down. This is the best possible engagement angle. Alright, and we'll add another one since he knocked out a couple of them. Ooh, his phaser's really doing a good job in there, limiting the damage. Photon torpedoes both missing, unfortunately. They had like an 83% chance of that range, I think. Maybe it was a 50. So he did manage to shoot down all the missiles, but the more important thing is that wasted pretty much every single one of his phasers, leaving him only one to shoot through at us, allowing us to complete that firing pass in good order, and we'll finish off with 2 more phaser strikes from the rear. So most of him is pretty badly open, so we're just going to keep soaring away. I think I'll keep up a little bit more fire going in from this. And I don't have another scatter pack ready yet. So we're going to have to wait until that AMD is down if we really want to punch through with the scatter pack. Unfortunately, the Klingons actually defend themselves, unlike the Romulans when it comes to missiles. Alright, we're going to pull into a full port side turn. Hopefully that'll get most of our photon torpedoes recharged by that point. And they are only just starting to charge on the port side, but the starboard side ones are half done. They should be ready to go by the time we turn on in. Forward shield in surprisingly good shape. It's only the forward starboard shield that's really taking any major damage on this one. And the repair board is, for the most part, clean, so we're feeling pretty good about this one. Are you still challenging my electronic countermeasure? Nope, we just didn't have the power to fully charge it. Okay. So we'll pull in relatively tight on top of him and nail him with everything we've got. He's probably going to present this shield to us, although if we can angle around to this rear one, we can chew through pretty nicely. Though he may not have the speed to prevent us from doing whatever we want to him. I'm really kind of tempted, actually, just to go right by him and then high energy turn on the open side. Oh, we're on that shield side. It's split between the two. A little bit unfortunate. But we did cut through most of his shields. And we've got our defensive tractors to pick off his missiles. If I can get another angle in here. Slow down a little bit. His AMD is somewhere. There it is. It's offline. Okay. We'll dump that scatter pack, see if that'll do it. He is still traveling away, but I think we might got him this time. Last time I thought we had him, but this time I really think we got him. Especially if I can bait him into shooting my forward shield. And phaser follow-up will be ready right behind if he manages to survive the incoming fire.
They're almost crippled.
He did not. Lovely. So a couple of shots actually managed to get through the shields. But other than that, we managed to do a pretty good job of keeping the ship mostly intact. We will have to go home for a little bit of repair, but it's right next door. So 280 prestige is our reward for that one. And we'll pop back home for a little bit of repair. Kind of funny, the Romulan vessels with the plasma Ds are they're usually Klingon designs, or the extra large dreadnoughts. The Romulans really did not go in for defense. Although, for the most part, they can just defend themselves with a cloaking device, which is really, really effective. But yeah, the ones that we always had to worry about trying to get our missile salvos through were almost always Klingon designs. I'm going to take a convoy raid rather than planetary assault because I don't feel like accidentally having to fight somebody who's got massive shields and defenses.
Battle stations.
Alright, so we did spawn in the far position. There is a single freighter way off in the distance. So we're going to have to rush in to catch up as soon as we can. That means no overloading photon torpedoes, just all power to engines and speed. If I could go to warp, I would. But you can't go to warp in system. That's lore. Until it's not. But hey, Star Trek the Motion Picture was fun, wasn't it? We'll kick up the speed of time because it's going to take us a little while to actually get there. We also prep our scatter packs because we're probably going to need them. And I've got a D6 on scopes, so this is probably our escort. Well, the escort that's going to try and defeat us. Hopefully they will fail, but you never know. We could just dive in amongst them and try and nail them. It's always one of my more preferred tactics, is just kill them that way. I'm going to get up to 4 electronic countermeasure. Make him have to chase me if he wants to actually do anything about it. Get our forward shield reinforcement. A second scatter pack going. Also, the Lyrians should have AMDs. Yeah, well, they've got a very fantastic defensive weapon. Oh, it's a Mauler. Crap. Pull away, pull away. Let's get him to waste his initial shot at a long distance, then we'll be fine. Does have an AMD, so... Oh, this is gonna suck. We're at a range of 8. We are within the full damage cone. Double mine. More power. Get outside that full damage cone. I don't think we're gonna be able to. Yup. Yup, that was expected. Repairs. Engine repairs. Getting right now.
Executing high energy turn.
Alright, we gotta come down and hit him with basically 6 tons of bricks. Perfect timing on that turn. Oh, can I get the perfect timing? Absolutely. Hello, son. That was how you want to do it. Right on top of him. We pulled the high energy turn right on through the entire way through. Oh, that was beautiful. Alright, let's pull off to the side. Keep that engine repair going. And I can't get a phaser shot in. Textbook. A little bit more lucky than textbook, but yeah, that's how you want the high energy turn to work. I'm going to have to rewatch that footage, see exactly what range and speed we were at with that one. Because that was beautiful. He's just trying to run away. You don't get to run. No. Get back over here. I'm going to batter you into your batteries or just slag. Pop a missile. It's not helping out too much, but it'll be a little bit. Got our engines back up to full power because the Starfleet Corps of Engineer is fantastic. We're going to get right onto his 6 once again. Dump a mine right here to force him to go a little bit wide. He did get a pretty decent shot in on us, but we were able to return in kind, starting to get through them defensive phasers. Slow down a little bit more. So he's wasting a little bit of defensive phaser power on other areas. Bring us all the way and see if we can't get in before he manages to get any more phaser fire off. And we did take a little bit of lab damage on that one, which I want to repair as soon as we can. Another mine right on top of him, see what he's going to do with it. And he does not have any power in the battery at the moment. And we can tell that because his Mauler was grayed out when we were close enough to actually get Mauler information. Okay, the Sword of Kalis. I believe we were in a vessel named that back in Season 2. So let's keep coming around. We've got a photon torpedo ready, so if he can put that right up his tailpipe, especially at a range of 8, that would be perfect. But he pulls beyond it. I'm not going to be too broken up by it. Kick the speed up a little bit more. We'll drag him in. We'll reel him in nice and slowly. We still have time on that convoy, and we're a little bit better equipped to deal with it than we were back when we were in a destroyer. But we would like to take this guy out relatively soon. Okay, photon torpedoes. We got 2 of them ready to go. Take the advantage. Nope, they did not work. Oh, because they're the wrong ones. Oh, and because we were too close. Alright, give me a range of 5. Ah, shoot it. Oh, you both missed. Really? Oh, the attack shift of 1. Didn't pay attention to that. Double mine right there. Get a defensive shield in place. You know, if you keep this up, I'm just going to ignore you and kill the convoy.
Stabilizing warp core.
Problem is, I'd like to do that once I've got him basically gutted. As long as he's got his defensive systems, I can't do that. Let's set up a holding tractor beam. I think we're going to dive on top of him. We're going to pull him in close. In a place where he wants to be generally. But we want to hurt him more. So this ought to be an interesting... As long as we can grab him before the shuttle... Before he drops his wild beast. Okay, we got him. Open him up a little bit. Having some fun with that one. He shot out a couple of missiles. And he's holding on to more of them. Good. So he's now got to spend battery power to hold on to those 2 missiles. And we'll pass right on top of him. Deal a little bit more damage on top of that one. Pull on through. Do we have another? We do not have another scatter pack. Unfortunate. Got a little bit of light casualties going on here. But we can repair and fix things up. Ooh, lost a photon torpedo. That's unfortunate. And the convoy is getting away. We may have gotten wrapped up with this guy a little bit too much. Probably should have moved on. So we're going to do one last pass on him. If this doesn't gut him, we're going to pass right for the convoy. He's doing a speed of 13, which tells us that he's having power problems. We are within our engagement range. He's about to have another phaser set up, so I'm going to try and knock him out. Unfortunately, only 2 of the photon torpedoes hitting. 2 of 3. And according to this, I've got... Oh, that's because we got the AMD selected. Alright, we're going to pass on through. Well, especially now we're going to pass on through. So, bombs. Have fun with it. Ooh, probably shouldn't have done that right on top of me. We're suffering the consequences of doing this really annoying tactic. Phasers? Nothing. The AMD is offline. We'll fix that. We'll fix this phaser. We'll fix this photon torpedo. We'll be good. Drop a last mine. Oh, you threw my shields. Really? Ugh. More power to engines. He's stuck inside the little trap of the mines that we've got here, so we can just set course and roll. Let's see if we can't get to these freighters before they pull away. Oh, this will be interesting. It's going to be tight. Almost up to full power. Once we get up to full power, we can really do some damage. So we've only got to kill 2 in order for the mission to be technically successful. So, but there's only 4 of them. That'll be nice. 2 of them are armored freighters. 2 of them are former frigates. And are you chasing me? You are. Oh, you've realized that I don't care about you anymore. Lots of phaser fire coming out from the frigates. Ooh, this is going to be tight. Very close. Going to get right on top of this line. Alright, we're lined up with you. You've got a whole bunch of phaser 2s, which actually makes you kind of dangerous. So I'm going to see if I can't completely gut you in one quick, powerful firing pass. I don't think the suicide shuttle will help because they'll shoot it down. But that'll help. So he's already having a pretty bad day. We'll slow down. Yeah, the suicide shuttle will actually help in this case. So we'll set that up. That'll be 25 points of damage. Convoy's not gone yet. We're working on it. So it'll take a little while for that suicide shuttle to be all set up, unfortunately. So how fast are you moving? Speed of 6.1. I'm going to have to turn back and engage you. If I can deal enough damage to everybody, we can hopefully kill everybody. A little bit of damage to ourselves from those photon torpedoes. Unfortunately, we just do not have enough firepower to kill somebody in one pass. Close, but not quite. And we'll dump the mine right in front of him. And he'll have to turn back, I assume. Wow, sort of careless. Not exactly going super fast here. We are out of mines. That is unfortunate. You are just incredibly vulnerable to that suicide shuttle that we've got, so as soon as it's ready, you're getting it. Or, you know, I could pass through and nail you with phasers. Well, we're already halfway there. We may as well. Got a phaser realigned? That's unfortunate. And... got him. Okay, we've destroyed one of the Klingon freighters.
Suicide shuttle ready.
Suicide shuttle is ready to rock. Just need to get relatively close to him, nail him, so one's gone to warp. We can get to the rest of them, though. It's not a total loss. And I could beam over and use Marines. I think we'll set that up, because we might be able to mostly knock him out, shooting him from behind. So we gotta prep a tractor beam, but not one that'll be ready before we're ready to turn in on the last guy. All opens. And shuttle bay. Suicide shuttle. Attack.
High energy turret.
We may end up be dragging ourselves out of the map.
Burning wreck.
Come on. Phasers. Oh, no! Oh. That's new. That is very new. Oh, that was good enough. I'm reasonably satisfied with that. Hard banking turns. Alright, we'll get the ship restocked and resupplied. Putting pressure on the neutral zone to eventually hopefully get them. And once we finally manage to capture the entirety of the neutral zone, we'll be able to push into Klingon space. We could just go right into Klingon space and try and bore through at one place, but I think I want to do this a little bit more methodical. Alright, ship's been re-equipped. The Tirak maneuver. Now, I think the Tirak maneuver is just a massive swarm of missiles, giga salvos, and the like. Alrighty, it has been 2 hours. We have been streaming for the full length of time. It was a little bit later than we normally do. Normally we start at 5 and go to 7, but I think it was relatively successful. I think everybody had a reasonably good time. So, I've been Tarek. If you are new to this, if this is brand new for you, this is what we do. We do this game called Starfleet Command 2, Orion Pirates Plus mod. Link to the mod can be found in the description down below. It includes things like brand new ships, brand new ship models, backgrounds, and improved basically everything. It's gorgeous. You should download it and try and play it. The other thing we do is a game called Battletech, which we play a modded version called Rogue Tech, which basically improves everything about that game as well. So we're really kind of big on playing 1980s board games, which got turned into computer games, which were then improved by mods. So if that sounds like your kind of thing, go check out the rest of the channel. Maybe you'll find something interesting, and maybe hang around for a while. And subscribe, like buttons, all of that. If you want to hang around and talk on occasion, I'm not incredibly active on this, and I'm fairly new to this, to actually running a Discord server, but that can be found there at the link that has currently been dropped inside of chat once again. Anyway, I've been Tarek. If you like what you've been seeing, hit that like button and subscribe. If you want to receive a notification every time I release one of these videos, press that little bell icon, leave a comment, and I will see you all in the next episode.